What's going on, everybody? It's Gillett tea time. You know how we are, honey. We come and go. We come and go, but we're here. Oh, I'm a little digital today. I don't like that. It's my lighting. All right. So what's going on, everybody? A lot has happened. A lot has been going on. I think it's been like what, like 2 weeks, a week or so, something. We haven't been here. So we here. We back. It is 11 more days to my birthday. 11 more days, and it's 10 more days to Christmas. So if you haven't already started getting your Christmas shopping together and start doing your things, it's time to do that. We just now survived our very first Ballroom International Day, which was December the 11th. There was a ball in LA, a ball in Philly, a ball in Paris. There was a Kiki ball in Jersey. There was balls everywhere, and we survived it, y'all. We made it. Just waiting for a few of my Hi Blossom, baby. Just waiting for a few of my people to get here, but I got y'all favorite girl, Sasha, here, and we're gonna give you the tease. What's up, Sasha?
Hey, what's going on?
Welcome back, boo. You know we've been gone for a while.
We've been gone for a minute, but we back with the jump off.
Back with the jump off. How you been? What's been going on? What's new?
Well, we have some new fashion stuff that's come out. Kim Kardashian just released her Skims. It's a little pricey, but if you want to go out there and get your Skims, they're out. Beyonce released her Ivy Park clothing line. I'm wearing not Ivy Park, but I am wearing some Adidas right now. What else is coming? The holidays have been very humbling. I won't say they've been as happy, but we're gonna keep it pushing.
Okay, but like, what's been going on with you, girl? We've been gone for like a week. Hi, Terrence. We've been gone for like a week. Like, what's been going on?
Oh, what's going on with me? Well,
you don't have to share that news, but you can just tell me like.
I don't have to share that, but we have some projects coming up.
We got some projects coming up.
We got some real heavy projects coming up, and the stagnation is over. That's what I'll just say.
Okay, got you.
The stagnation is over.
Let everybody see your nails, girl. You did them.
Yes. This is the new set.
Yes, she does nails, y'all. So look out. Like, go get my girl.
And I do my own details with my edges. I've been doing hair and nails for years now, freelance. So if you ever need a girl to really come and really fleek you and not have your edges looking like the rest, stay and slay. Hit me up.
Okay, so we have the one and only, our normal cast member. He did a really good job in Philly. He looked so swell. So I'm going to bring him up. The one and only Mickey Mouse icon himself. Hey, brother.
It's the pay.
Damn, I'm sorry.
It wasn't lining. I was doing it for him. It wasn't coming up.
Hey, Ghana.
Because when he lined me, it started until I did it on an automatic PK. It's fine. I'm going to just do my hours.
Are you on Bigo? And we're live?
Hey, y'all.
Hey, what's been going on with you? Hey, what's been going on with you? You feeding your face?
I can't hear you. Hold on. I'm hear you.
Oh. All right. So while Gunna's getting his connection together, we got our other girl in spot. I'm sorry. It's always a key up here at the tea time, honey. We having a tea party. The girls, we've been gone for a week, so we getting it back together. But in the meantime, Sasha, what's been going on with the Queen of Rap? Yeah, I can't hear you, Sasha Boo. Y'all, what's going on with y'all tonight?
What's going on with the Queen of Rap? Well, there is a lot of stuff that's going on. She just had her birthday party.
Happy birthday, Nicki.
Happy birthday, Nicki Minaj. And we have new music, new album, new positivity. We're going to be stepping into
everything is so low.
I read something in the news. It was in my inbox. It was a memo. I think one of the rappers, Off Trash, made a comment about Nicki. Offset. Yes, Offset. Made a statement, and it was saying she was a loser. So we don't know if, as we report, it's all alleged.
We don't a loser.
We don't know. I mean, I think the motorsport song was really a winner. So
I think so too. Let's see if Gunna's got it together. Let's see. Can you hear us now? All right. We have Gunna here, everybody. Gunna, what's been going on? We've been gone for like a week or two.
Girl, life, girl. I got my new embroidery machine.
Yes, I saw.
I launched my collection. Some of my house members and some of my friends wore my shirts when we were in Philly.
I
You
saw
know,
that.
so big things happening. I walked the ball.
We're gonna talk about that. We're gonna talk about that. All right, let's see if Morgan ready. Morgan, you ready?
Oh my God!
Morgan,
Hi.
Yo,
Everyone is here.
what's been going on, Morgan? You haven't you missed the episode and you've been gone for like a week or two. So what's been up with you? How was your vacation?
you've been
Um,
gone for about a week ago.
yeah, like I've been traveling all over the world. I've been to so many places. Not really. I've seen so many things. Just a few. But I'm here. I'm queer. Wipe your hands on us. We love you. You love us. I've missed you guys, my co-hosts and my viewers. And yeah, I'm just ready to pop some shit.
Yes, we miss you, Morgan. Miss you. And you're showing that
Let
scalp. Come on, the girl's got
me
scalp.
come closer. I want to be in the mix with you.
This is
Using
crazy.
my scalp, a little scalpy. My
I
head
love the
big,
braids.
but whatever.
Oh, we giving that, and Morgan, you know what we give around here. It's a
Yeah,
natural.
Okay.
just a
Morgan and
natural
Gunner
friend.
are slaying for these roots.
That's right.
Well, I have a hat on. I'm going through some shit right now, so it's like I'm here. But anyway, so we've been gone for a while. A lot of things has happened. Like I told everyone, we survived December 11th. December 11th was International Ball Day. There was balls all over the coast. We tried to tackle each one we could. I was in Paris. Gunnar was in Philly. Morgan was at home, and Sasha was at home watching. So we covered them. So we're gonna talk about Philly first. Gunnar, you look so fab with the Mickey Mouse, the fur. It was every foot and eye for me.
Thank you. Oh my God, brother. Can you come bring me the Mickey Mouse eyewear? I would like to show the audience, our member viewers. So I was in Philly. I'm sorry to cut you off. Go ahead, sis.
No, go ahead. Like, tell us about your look.
So I was in Philly. As you know, the icon Bria and the legend Marquise had their royal wedding 2 ball. This is the second installment of this particular series. It gets silly in Philly, bitch. The people was in the building. It was really great because, as we decreed on our last show that the other day was International Ballroom Day, as decreed on this show by the icon Gunna and the legend Gillett, we declared it that. And so it was funny because while I was at the ball, I was also like waiting because you had our ball, you had y'all's ball, which was 5 hours ahead in Paris. Then you had the ball in Philly. And while I was in Philly, we were starting to end our ball. I was trying to get on the live to watch the balls that were happening in LA. And at the same time we was having our ball in Philly, they was also having the ball in Chicago. Right? Oh, yeah. So, me, my icon, my love ballroom, I was trying to watch everything. And I was getting the teas from everywhere and everything, which is a lot. But yeah, so we got there. It was some highlights of the night. It was a pretty good ball, pretty good turnout. We did finish all the categories as usual, per usual, at one of his balls. They're pretty good about finishing their categories. Yeah. Marquise and Bria are at their balls. The cash was given out. The people were there. There were some highlights. One of my favorite highlights was actually Film Queen Perfect Tens. I think it was for $3,000.
Yes.
Vanessa
Shout out to Erica Kane, the grand prize winner. Shout out to all the girls who walked. Shout out to the debut of New York mother Ayana Tishi.
Yeah.
Exactly what the category said. I need everyone to understand. So while those are listening, there were people that were like, okay, they already closed the category. They're already trying to have a battle in the category. The category was literally written, the wedding crasher. The bride and groom are getting married and you're coming to stop the wedding and you're going to bust through. Basically, was how it was written. Okay. So she did what the fuck needed to be done. She bust the fuck through and said, I want a piece. That's mine. That man is mine.
Come on, that's what I want to hear. That man is
That's kind of
fine.
cute.
And
But no, shout out to the women that they were very, very lovely. You know, I have my favorites, but Gillette, you know how I am about talking about women as a butch queen. I try to prevent myself from anything that's not an affirmative. So I just want to say all the ladies look lovely. I do think though in ballroom in particular, we really need to nail down Perfect Tens versus Trilogy.
Yeah,
And really get to understanding back to the roots of that because not everybody is Perfect Tens.
that's true.
Perfect. I'm gonna make a chart, right? So imagine like you have three categories: category A, category B, category C, and then you have like scores 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, all the way up to 10, right?
Right.
If you're getting between 7 to 9 on those three of those, that's
Then
your
it's not perfect
trilogy area.
tens. Then it's not perfect tens. It doesn't
That's
have.
your trilogy area. That means you kind of got face, but you're not a 10. You are 8, a 9. You kind of got some of the categories, but you're not 10.
Right.
Perfect tens is when you're at the end of that spectrum and it's a 10 for this category, a 10 for that category, and a 10 for that category. You could win either one of those categories without any type of assistance.
I love the way
And,
you explained that.
and it's not always that way. Some girls are more face, some girls are more body, some girls are more sex.
Yeah.
Perfect tens in ballroom. There are a few upper echelon categories in ballroom when you think about the evolution of the butch queen and the femme queen, the male and female figures. Perfect tens is one of those like adult categories, especially for female figures. Like, you know, you've been a young girl, you've kind of learned, you've learned your body, you know your sex, you know, like you really have put on your full femme queen by the time you are a perfect 10. It takes a while to get there. It's an evolution type category. You know, it's like the young girl versus the grown woman. You know what I'm saying? A lot of young girls are really pretty, but then you can even have someone like to talk about like even in the celebrity world, you can have a new young actress that's out and she's pretty and she's drop dead gorgeous, right? But then you have a woman like Angela Bassett walk into a room. And the way that she sucks energy out of the room, it's a grown woman in your presence. She is
Right.
sexy. She is sensual. She is gorgeous. She knows her shit. Like she knows how to work all of those angles, and that's what Perfect Tens is. And I don't think that
Yeah.
every girl is there. And most girls don't ever make it there. Most boys don't ever make it there. Like, you know, think about like, you know, we love different kind of boys and stuff, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you want a boy that's sexy. Sometimes you want a boy with money. Sometimes you want a boy with a big dick. Sometimes you want a boy with... But rarely ever does God give you a boy that has all of those things. Like, it's either real skinny or real ugly, but the dick is big. It's either real rich, but the dick is small, or it's cute, but the stroke is off.
Sometimes you make it a whole package deal.
But you know, I'm
Yes,
saying,
you
you know,
can make
mind
it
you,
your
do,
own little package.
but realistically, people don't really be born with everything. Perfect tens is like you're a femme queen that has you're everything.
Everything.
You're a butch queen that's everything in ballroom. Every boy and girl wants you. Every boy and girl wants to be you. You
Yes.
just do a certain thing. So that was the perfect tens. I just wanted to explain that, you know, because we have some viewers that may not be ballroom.
We gotta let them know.
Anything else happened in Philly? How did you
Yes,
do?
I debuted. I re-entered the floor.
Okay. Oh, oh, that is so
Yeah.
over.
I'm here for the shit.
That is so over.
I am here for the shit.
Oh, Mickey, you ate.
I love that.
Yeah, so I had walked. I hadn't been on the floor in about 2.5 years. I mean, I did walk the Designers Delight at OTA, but I hadn't been on the floor in about 2 years. This is really beyond walking. But I just felt we had a new insurgent. You know, my father's doing stuff in New York up here, New York T-sheet area. We're growing. So I'm one of those leaders that like to lead by example. So now that we have new members and they're like, well, we hear a lot about you, but what did you give? So I had to give them one night of what I give. I didn't win. It was three of us walked. It was myself. It was the icon Michi Lanvin, and it was Leon Garcon, legendary. I think legend. They may have named him icon. I'm not sure. Two of my faves. First battle was me versus Leon. I mean, me versus Michi. Michi sat me. Then Michi versus Leon. Grand prize Michi. Shout out to Michi and Leon. I think I could have won. I love both of you, but bitch, I was on. It was my fucking grand prize.
So bad.
But no, I love both of them. And like I've said on this show and many shows that I do, I've gotten to the point in my career I don't go back and forth with people who I think I should have won over because they didn't pick themselves. My critique and questioning is always toward the panel because they're the ones that make those decisions. What were you looking for? Why did you choose this person? Was it shade? Was it preference? Was it girlfriend? X, Y, and Z? I think that's a better conversation to have than contestants attacking each other
Right.
because
So what was
neither
the
one of you
category
chose.
actually asking for?
It was just asking for something old, something new, something blue. So my ode was the Rick Owens wedge boot that came out around 2008 or 9, I think. It was like one of the first when people really started to get into when he started doing these boots and really became this, really kind of took over for making these kind of weird shoes. It has the heel that kind of goes back. So that was a grand prize winner. I had walked and won that in eyewear at Clint Cavalli's, Clint. Was he a Lambin at the time? I think it was a Lambin at the time. Maybe not. I don't know. Previous house. Then won that. My new was my Parasite in collaboration with Mickey to celebrate 90 plus years of Disney's existence. This is a very limited made to order eyewear. Yeah, it's limited edition.
Gunnar,
Mickey
those
the
are
True Original,
glasses?
90 years XYZ.
Come through frame.
Oh shit.
Yeah, they glasses.
It's doing that robot thing. I'm gonna have to leave and
Yeah.
come back out.
Okay. While he's doing that, let's talk about the most streamed female rapper of the Spotify global in 2021. Number 1 is Doja Cat.
Okay.
Number 2 is Nicki Minaj. Number 3 is Megan Thee Stallion. And they only list them by one from 1 to 3. I wish Megan was number 1.
Why couldn't there be a 4 instead of 3?
Well, they only gave us 4. I mean, only gave
Megan
us.
would never be number 1.
Why?
It's the caliber.
Sorry, I'm back. And then I'm sorry, I want to get to the Megan stuff really quick, but I'll finish up Philly. And then my new was this fur Loewe bag. I literally bought it the day before the ball at Saks, $3,400. It had just hit the Saks floor 2 days before. Only 4 of them made it into the United States, so I had one of them. It was great. Another category, some legends were out, icons were out. It was great. It was a great time we had in Philly. We got silly in Philly. Then afterwards went to the hotel, did the things with the girls, and then brought myself back, and we're here. Raw's Law.
Raw's Law. Well, congratulations to you. You looked really good, and I feel like you did good.
Thank you. You know how it is. It's like when you lose and everybody tells you, "Oh, you did good." You be like, "I don't want to hear it," but no,
Yeah.
I had to tell someone, I explained on my page earlier about the difference between a win and a moment. They're not always the same. And it's very rare that people actually really make real moments in ballroom. But I feel like when I try to walk out, that's always my intent, is to make, moments and really do it up. I think I looked very fucking rich when I walked. I think I looked very fucking rich and exclusive and expensive. So that was kind of my thing. It was a wedding. You're supposed to be at a wedding event. So I wanted to make sure, bitch, this is a wedding and I'm busting through. So let me through. But yeah, so it was good. There was other great categories. Thank you, day one. But again, shout out to the winners. My category of the night was Film Queen Perfect Tens. But we can go back to Nicki Minaj and how that bitch is shady and late boots.
Yeah, we're gonna go to her. But also to the viewers, if you were at any of the other balls, I'll be talking about the Paris ball later. But if you was at any of the other balls and you want to shout out people who may have won, just put them in the comments and we'll shout them out as well. But shout out to LA, Chicago, Philly, Paris, New Jersey. All y'all did it. Y'all had the balls. They were successful. They went through. I didn't hear no major things that happened. I heard it was a success. So congratulations to Ballroom. Go ahead, y'all. Back to this. Spotify Global in 2021. Number 1 is Doja Cat. Number 2 is Nicki Minaj. Number 3 is Megan Thee Stallion. They are the most streamed female rappers on Spotify.
But yeah, like I was saying, Megan Thee Stallion would never be number 1. She does not have the caliber as the same as the first 2. However, I do feel like she could make a good, decent comeback. I feel like the hype that still is behind Megan is because so many people were really big fans of her. Like she was hyped up a lot before she became so big. Like a lot of people remember Megan Thee Stallion from like her freestyle off of YouTube. Um to
That sounds real familiar,
the
like
Biggie
someone's
beat.
career.
Sorry?
That sounds really familiar. There was another girl who was hyped off of her mixtapes, and she was making $100,000 a lyric before
I
she
didn't
did
say
an album.
mixtapes. I said freestyles.
Freestyle mixtapes, but
Because
I
Megan's
mean,
mixtapes are horrible. And her first mixtape was cute.
Tina
Tina
Snow was
Montana
cute.
was Tina Snow was the best one. Everything else after that has been a plateau.
You really think so?
well,
Yes,
all I know is Nicki Minaj
collectively,
is
yes.
shady
It's
boots.
terrible. It's terrible.
Why you feel Nicki shady?
I feel ooh.
Oh,
You're
more
coming
Did
for
you,
shady.
did
Nicki
you
I
get my
Minaj
feel
off
so
picture?
the
Can you
bad.
show
bat.
my
No, I
picture?
texted the wrong thing. I'm sorry.
Can you show the
Please,
pictures I sent
notification.
to the group to the pre-show? So there was a comment about the top 3 Spotifyers in the US and in the world. The 3 top people were as they were mentioned, but they were kind of reversed. In the US, it was Doja, and then it was Megan, and then it was Nicki. In the world, it was Doja, Nicki, then Megan. Nicki reposted the same picture, but cut out the one where she was third, and also removed Megan from the
You're not gonna be
list
able
where
to see that.
Megan was third and only listed her and Doja Cat.
Yeah. It's in the group though.
And the gag of it is,
Power against the queen is going
this is the thing.
torture.
This is the thing that people fail to realize. And I don't like stan culture and
She's
all
so
that.
shady.
But she has literally
but
become
why
the
would we
girl that
blame her?
she
Why
told the
can't we blame
world
the
that
publisher and the editor?
she's literally become
She's
the
the
girl that
editor.
she's literally become the girl that she was telling the world 10 years ago that Little Kim was. She's the older rapper. She's bitter about the new girls. She thinks everyone's at her. Everything's a sub. Girl, y'all trying to get rid of me. I'm not too old to still be here. Blah, 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 blah. Like literally verbatim, we could take everything that she's into with all these new girls right now and replay it 10 years, a decade ago, and it's the exact same thing. And
It
it's
is,
like,
but we can't. But it is. But one thing that I can say is we're not going to sit here and keep comparing a woman who has wrote most of her songs and projects, and these girls have not wrote
damn, I
shit.
gotta come out of here.
Stuff.
I just want to say, personally, no, not personally. I just want to say that
I feel that too, Steve.
it's so like crazy to me sometimes when like they take one thing and make it like, oh, Nikki's done it again.
Oh my
She's the
God!
bad
So I'm back.
guy.
Yes,
So so
yes,
wait. So even this whole writing thing.
Like
That's
This is
exactly
another
like
why
thing.
she
I feel
said
like if
"Happy
you
birthday"
wanna
to the bad guy.
no,
This
not
is
only
like no.
that,
This
I feel like if you want to
She
take it how
paints
you
herself
are,
to do
Gunna,
that.
But
I would
yeah,
say personally, if
Exactly.
she
Megan wrote
said
all
or
her stuff.
attacked Megan,
any press is good press.
or if she personally went at her or said something about her, I feel like she's paying Megan and she's sparing Megan from
No,
what she actually usually
No,
does.
behind her
hanging
hand.
it would be if Sasha made a post and said her 3 favorites are Gillett, Morgan, then Gunner. Paying it would be Morgan posting that with all 3 of those names on it. Paying it isn't Morgan posting it and chopping my name off and making sure hers and Gillette still stays there. Number one, that's not paying it. You went out of your time to edit someone out. You didn't pay it. But back to this whole lyric writing thing, and this is something
Did
that
she
she created, right?
personally edit though?
It's on
She
her
posted
Instagram,
it.
so
Because how
it's
do
a
we know
representation
she
of her.
personally edited it?
You are personally
Look in the
responsible
group,
for your
girl.
brand. At the end, as all of us
Y'all
who
just
have
want her to be the
brands,
bad
who
guy
might
so
have
bad.
PR people and stuff that work for
And
us,
then what's the
you
problem
know
with
that
that?
ultimately anything that's put
No
out under
shade.
your brand, it sits on
I
your
have to
shoulders.
say a Nicki verse for this. It's like
She could have
she has
dogged
a verse
her.
that says, "I don't want you in my picture. You get cropped out."
But hold on, but I want to go
I
back to
don't.
this whole
Like
like
that's it.
she's the only writer. She writes all her lyrics and all this.
She's done
That's
so much work
great,
to
but let's be
people.
clear. This was a bar. Right.
Speak on it because she ain't been
This
out.
was a hold
singing.
on, but even aside from that, her writing her
Y'all are
lyrics and all
delusional.
of this and being like MCs aren't MCs, they don't write their lyrics. This is a bar that a line in the sand that she tried to draw to set herself apart from everybody else. But the people that have fallen for it, the reason why I don't take a lot of credit to what they say, because they love groups like NWA. Bone Thugs and Harmony, all of those groups, and most of those people didn't write for themselves. Eazy-E didn't know how to write or rap.
Okay,
Half of
because
Bone
Ice
Thugs
Cube
know
was
how to
doing all
write
the
or rap,
writing.
but no one discredits them for what they did. No one discredits Whitney Houston for not being a writer and only being a singer, whereas maybe Mariah is a writer and a singer. But only because Nicki Minaj drew this little bar that she tries to say decrees good talent from real
It's
talent.
funny.
At the end of the
It's
day,
easy to
this
talk
is a
about the
music industry. It's about artistry. There are other people that can do other things that don't necessarily require a pencil. Because if it was really just that easy to just have a million sold, it would be a million bitches with a million sold. But obviously, it's not for everybody.
Right. That's why Megan's number 3.
Right,
But
and that's why
Megan has more Grammys
Nicki
than her.
Minaj is no longer number one, and that's why Cardi B has
So
3
we care
diamond
about
singles,
Grammys
3
now.
of them.
If a bitch get more, or if a bitch get more of the years and more shit that like that than you, that makes them a fab or icon or a legend than you.
I mean, hold on, but see, this is the thing about moving the bar. No, this is that shit that y'all
Nicki,
do.
Nicki made it in before this even became a whole epidemic.
But
Like
this is the shit that y'all
the
do,
female
right?
category out of the
This is
Grammys.
the
And
shit
she
that y'all
she
do.
be paying
This is the
Y'all
shit
Megan
keep
like
that
she's
y'all
riding that
so
over
do.
y'all's
much
head
worth
like
to
she
people.
didn't
This
do
is the
that.
She
shit
be
that, hold
literally
on.
Exactly.
just cropped
You
They
can
out
paid
tell
people
what
who
us.
she wrote
associated with
versus what
her.
somebody
The
else
girls
wrote
were
for
having a
her.
shootout. When it was
But
Kim
this is
Fox
the
and
shit
we
that
were
y'all
shooting
Nicki
at each
Minaj
other.
fans
If
do,
y'all
right?
really think
So
that
y'all
man
be the
helped
first
her
one to say
that
she
much,
sold the most,
y'all are
she streamed the
delusional.
most, she made the most money.
For
But then we
real.
bring up the most that somebody else did. It's
For
like, well,
real.
accolades don't matter. Bitch, I thought they just did. She just used her accolades to say she's better than everybody. So either accolades matter, so a Grammy matters, and Diamond Records matter, or that. So you mean to tell me Diamond Records and Grammys don't
Regardless,
matter?
if she
Hold
was
on.
I
not
am a
number one, she would
standout.
still be
Wait.
You just
number
my
one.
stand in.
Gillette,
These
I
bitches
got this
don't
one.
do
Like,
my homework. That's
Wait,
what they hand
wait,
in.
she would still be
I'm
number
gonna steal this
one.
one. I'm gonna steal this one. Grammys don't
That's why
matter.
it's like
Diamond
it was
Records
a
don't
land
matter.
in.
But being number 2 on Spotify is what makes you great. Okay, next.
Who's
Nobody
number
said
2 on
nothing about
Spotify?
that. She's number 1 in the world. she number 1 in the U.S. So
Oh
somewhere
my
she's
god.
number fucking 1, and both whereas
Anyway,
Megan's number fucking 3.
and
Y'all be wanting this lady to
Megan's
be the
still that
bad guy
girl.
so bad,
Cardi's
so
still
she do
that
petty shit
girl.
like
Megan's
that.
number
But
3
she
and been out
good.
for
No
3
Cardi's still
shade.
that
years.
girl.
No
And
Nicki's been
shade.
out for a decade and
Thank
she's number
you.
No
1.
shade.
You guys,
No shade.
But isn't
Y'all
it
want her to
sad?
be the
Isn't it
bad guy.
sad?
She do
Look,
petty shit
for
on
like Gunna
purpose just
said,
because
She's
because
a
y'all be there.
classic. She's classic 90s. That's why she's a fucking diamond that will last forever and ever.
who look at him?
look him.
We
My
love the
mother-in-law?
bad. We love the ugly. We love the good. We love this
Do we
shit. I mean,
really?
we're
Like,
talking
I
about it,
feel
but we
like
really love it
little
because it's
Kim.
fucking black culture.
But isn't this a problem that we have in Black culture that we seem to like compare each other with like who's better, who's not, who's better Black, who's not better Black?
When you have things like billboards and rankings and things like that that are put against people to say specifically who's better than the other,
But
that's all that's
I
going to be
do
the
think that,
conversation.
and I don't necessarily blame this on Nicki
But can
or
you
like
guys agree?
Beyonce. I also think it has to do with the timing and the change in technology and the change in the way that people can voice their opinions and stuff. But I do think that what we're in now is a different level of, who's the best. Like those of us who grew up in the 90s and listen to music, every rapper wants to be the best. Everyone wanted to be great. But there was so much fucking good talent out that bitch, even being number 5 back then was over.
Was
Because
over.
a lot
Yeah.
to be number
Because
5.
somebody acknowledged
Right.
you.
Like
You were acknowledged.
now it's like we created this vacuum where it's like it can only be one. It can only be one. And it's like, no, bitch, 1, 2, and 3, bitch, in the world. So you mean to tell me it's potentially 8 billion people could try to put out music tomorrow, bitch, and you're number 1, you're number 2, you're number 3. That's fast.
And I
But
understand that
Nicki,
too.
and this is one of the things that I say about, and I don't think maybe I don't know her well enough to know her long-term intent was to really create this divide. A lot of times as artists and stuff, when you come out and you create things, you don't know the legs is gonna grow. Like when Paris and Kim Kardashian created the selfie, they didn't know it was gonna turn into this, this thing where we have this social media and people judge each other all day off pictures and it can lead to suicide. They didn't know that was the beast they were unleashing. I say that to say, like with Nicki, when she really came out, her big thing was about everyone's my sons. I'm better than. It can only be one bitch at the top. I don't know that she knew that with technology and with everything else going on, it was going to really create this kind of vacuum, toxic environment where we really can only have one girl at the top. One thing I do like about rap right now, especially female rap, is that there's flavors for everybody right now. Like there's all kind of Southern, West Coast, North, East Coast. There are flavors out right now, and the girls aren't out. It reminds me of the '90s when you had a Kim, a Carter, you had Remy, you had Foxy, you had you had Eve, you had different girls at different calibers. You had fucking Trina
Missy
from the
Elliott.
South.
Yeah, Trina.
You had all the different girls.
Trina.
So I'm glad that we're in that. I was kind of bored with the only Beyonce, only Nicki Minaj era, where it was like, girl, okay, there are other people in the world that make music.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that we're kind of leaving that era.
You disagree, Morgan?
Personally, it's not necessarily that I disagree. I do agree with the times and how we have a different variety and a lot of different flavors. I feel like, though, personally, that in this time now more than ever, we've made mediocrity a thing for celebration. And just because it means the song is good for somebody, or that song is cute, or that song, is it really though?
It's art.
Is it really though? And then in the 90s, I feel like in a way, for the most part, majority of those bitches was in the same caliber. They didn't all get the same play. They didn't all get the same opportunities. They didn't all get the same, radio play or student. Like they didn't. Everybody wasn't handed things the same. Or I feel like talent wise, raptures wise, lyrical wise, flow wise, all of that. Majority of those bitches were in the same exact caliber, no shade.
No.
I don't think they were all too far from each other. They may have been in different lanes and doing things a little different from one another, but I feel like all of those bitches, in a way or some, could secretly out-rap the other or keep up with each other in their own style. Now, these bitches are trash. They all rap about the same fucking shit. And if they're not rapping about the same shit, they're rapping about absolutely nothing.
Nothing.
And they're just like, oh, I don't want to rap. I want to make music to shake your ass in the club. Okay, well, you gonna be a pop star.
We literally grew up on music where girls were plotting. They were in domestic violence relationships, and certain rap would help them get out of that.
Yes, and
Suicide,
I'm not saying that rap has to be about the same thing it was in the 90s.
Drug, alcohol abuse, that type
right.
of really stuck.
Right.
Like it's more to rap than a woman talking about sucking some dick and how her pussy
But at the
is
same
wild.
time, now this is where I'm not a woman, so I don't like to get in these arguments with women. But
it's already dominated. It's already
men continue to make songs about getting money, fucking bitches, smoking blunts. I don't have an issue with women rapping about sucking dick and popping their pussy.
I don't, but I have a problem with my daughter saying it, and she's 4 years old.
But your daughter, you should mind your daughter's listening habits. They never made music for your daughter.
I'm not saying my daughter. I'm speaking for somebody else's daughter.
But be a mother.
I'm not saying my daughter, not mine.
Be a mother and watch your child's music. If your child, this is the same thing I had to say about motherfucking what's the little gay woman that we all love, Lil Nas X.
Yeah.
When they complained about the kids listening to him, I said the problem is your kids was able to discover them because you weren't watching their listening habits. Your 4-year-old should not be listening to Nicki or Doja or fucking Megan Thee Stallion or any of them. She better listen to Disney Channel. Don't they still got Blues Clues or something?
We just found the Blues Clues. We just found the
Blues Clues.
All right, is that enough about this, Nicki?
They should be listening to Baby Shark.
Yeah, can we move?
All right, so shout out to the girls that made the list. I love you all.
Megan.
Shout out to y'all. But
I really wish
y'all love her music. Y'all really buy and listen to her music.
It's all about the hottie stuff.
Shout out to Megan and Megan only.
But somebody said, but they on Kids Bop though.
Not only that, do y'all listen to her shit from start to finish? Don't lie. Don't fucking lie.
Who?
Megan.
I do.
So give me 3 songs right now. Give me 3 songs right now from her last album.
She got Megan Monday. She got Freestyle Something Bitch. And then yeah, I gave it up. They're my favorite.
So you gave me the first 2 songs off the fucking album.
No, I did not.
Okay.
That song is number 2, and the
But
other one
you're
is.
not proving no point because you could
You
ask me to
not,
name 3
girl.
songs
Okay.
you
Because
asked me to
it's
name 3 songs on
mediocrity. I
Nicki
proved my
Minaj
point
album,
already.
and I
It's
don't know them either.
mediocrity. She's gonna be third place. That's always gonna
I
happen.
look,
That
I
bitch is
look, look,
late.
I
It's
look. I'm a
whack.
person
I
that
feel
look.
like
I'm an
y'all
old
want to
girl.
say Safari right all the Nicki
I'm
shit.
an
I
old
feel like she
girl.
took all of her mother's shit from
I'm an
when
old
her
girl,
mother
and
was
I
a
like to keep
rapper.
up with
Let's talk
time
that.
sometimes
And
with
how she
music.
can't rap no
I
more
like
either.
everybody's music, but I don't like a person that just feels like they have to attack everybody all the time in their music for it to sell.
Okay.
Since we talking about, that's my thing, Gillette. We say we don't like them talking about pussy and all this, but do I got to hear about every single song that you're better than everyone? Everyone's your sons. No one writes it. It's like,
So
okay,
you're
girl,
gonna
you're
say one.
But
You're
talented.
gonna say one
y'all
whole
don't
verse.
We
understand.
know
Or
you're
Y'all
you're
don't
gonna say
talented.
one verse.
understand where
But when
and
a bitch
why
say
that
that
Everybody
came
all
knows.
her bitches is
about.
sons,
Y'all try to make it
that's a
seem as if
bar.
y'all be trying to make it seem
You're
as if a
offended by a
personal
bar.
attack. There was literally no other rappers but her and men for 10 years. Of course she
And
has
the
to say
rapper's
that
gotta
she was
come
the
with that
best
confidence. Would it be
all the
better if she said,
time.
I'm a weak ass
What do you
bitch?
mean? What do you mean? She was surrounded at a table full
Just
of
like
fucking
she
men
said, when a man
every
is
corner she
assertive,
turned.
he's a boss. But when a woman is
But when a
assertive,
woman's assertive,
she's a
she's a
bitch.
bitch. But okay, I guess.
All right.
I should change my cup
No,
to Miss Bitch Right instead of Miss
no.
Always Right.
A woman that
Ooh,
wants to
they
be the
are.
only woman at the table of men is a bitch. A woman who brings other women to the table, that's the kind of girl I root for.
She didn't. She. If she wanted to do that, she would have had a music label. She didn't want to
She
do that.
literally argues with any girl that she comes out with. Like every girl is her friend. Like at some point,
She
has your
never
mama ever
argued with
told you no?
Megan though.
Have you ever known a situation where you got like a girlfriend or associate or something, and they keep ending up in a mess, and then one day you be like, but the
You
common
can't be
denominator is
mad that
you.
bitches be intimidated.
At some point, she got to recognize that she has no
Bitches
relationship
are
with
Y'all,
you.
still
them
She's
out
the
bitches
here
be
girl,
in
common
tight.
BBLs and they
denominator.
They
still
be
don't look
tight. They
like
want Nikki
Nicki.
so bad. They want Nikki attention. They want Nikki on their features. They want Nikki everything, and they be mad because they can't get it because y'all bitches be popping off at that mouth on Twitter and Instagram and all that other shit, and y'all be mad when a Barbie go and find what the
Bitches
fuck
was
you
dad
bitches
going to
said
the hair store
and
getting the
send it
Barbie
to her.
chains and the Remy hair and the pink and black bundles. Just give
But
sis the credit she
we're
deserves.
not gonna do this.
But girls
Period.
started even coloring
All
their
she did
hair
was posting a
after
picture.
fucking
Y'all
TikTok
made this
video about
about
Lil
her and
Kim.
being a bully. She didn't say that. She
Instead
don't
of
want to
treating
address
everybody
or
on the
put
level,
herself
bitches
with
is really getting
Megan
their
at
boobs done.
all.
Next
So
topic,
y'all
we
want her to
only got
bully her and
15
not
more
pay
minutes.
her? Y'all want her to bully her. That's what y'all saying. Y'all want her to be the bad guy.
They do. Happy
No,
birthday. Happy birthday, bad.
actually,
If it's not something, it's
no.
another.
I
So
want her to be the
it's
talented
lose
bitch that I
lose
know
with
that she
Nikki.
is. Get out there and make some fab ass verses
So they
and
can
do her
get on their
motherfucking
fucking
thing.
G voice and make me the bad guy.
Lane, and now nobody could be in that lane. What are you saying right now?
No, this bitch created an entire interstate for herself and now gets mad when other people want to drive on it. Like, girl,
Wait,
be the
what
girl
they
who other
drove
girls
on?
stand on their shoulders. Be the girl that you said that Little Kim wasn't.
Why my
Be the girl that Little
algorithm
Kim
like that?
wasn't. There's no
I'm
comparison. That's
switching.
the problem with people. Y'all trying to compare classes.
And
Those are two different women.
y'all
That's
trying
that's
to
the thing.
but y'all also really not gonna sit here and make it seem like
That's
that
two
lady did
different
not fuck with that
eras.
lady for no ass reason.
For
No ass
From
reason.
Y2K.
Exactly.
Period. It's two
No
different.
shade.
By the time
That's a sugar cookie and a chocolate chip cookie.
Lil Kim was coming out of jail.
And we know who's sugar and we know who's chocolate chip.
I mean, we really come from the era where we was really shooting at bitches. We wasn't really going up in the studio for real. So, you know, we keeping it real cute.
Act like Nicki was outside in 89.
Where'd you let go?
In 98, 99, like I was, no, nigga. She was outside in two.
What it gave?
She had her 15. Give her credit. Yeah, she's a queen. She's always gonna be the queen. But Nicki came in when she was supposed to, and she stayed there. Period. And she's still there.
Period.
It's sad season. I have a Sag in the background right now. You know, holding it down. You know,
Period.
Hove is a Sag. That's pops. You can't just credit her.
What she copied, quote unquote, she made it her own shit. Period.
The illest
bitches
bitch.
was jocking it.
It was.
Elevated. These bitches have not elevated.
Everybody was a Barbie.
Nothing.
Everybody, their grandma was a Barbie.
These bitches
We
is
not
still
gonna sit up here and
Barbie.
drink amnesia juice. We not gonna sit up here and drink amnesia juice. Please let's not.
Please.
This bitch is
Bitches was not.
Itty bitty piggy in the market.
Get that bitch a quarter and a car. For real.
Everybody knew that song.
Assalamu alaikum.
Front and back.
I put that man, Oscar Mayer back on bitches.
Back. Like, what? Please.
I win. You lose.
That's why
They hate my girl. She can literally say nothing and just post a picture, and she just because she don't wanna be associated with somebody else.
Go on for so long.
Hey, Auntie.
Sorry about that. My computer had went off. Y'all was talking about Nikki so much. Oh,
Get that bitch a quarter in a car, tell her park it.
are y'all done with talking about Nikki?
I'm done. I mean, we don't have to do this again. I didn't want to do this, honestly. I thought this was about the top three. I didn't know this was about Nikki only.
This wasn't about Nikki only. We were just talking about giving the girls their grace for being on the list, and then it
That's
went.
cute.
We about to find out what we was over here doing.
Oh, I hope she do.
Y'all made it a personal attack, though.
Okay, well, anyway,
I was trying to personally attack.
Megan, apparently.
In good news, a Black company has created a product that's for Black persons that has eczema, alopecia, and dandruff of the scalp. It is called Black Luxury. This lady created this product, for persons that have alopecia, and she got tired of her hair falling out, so she created this product, and it's actually doing really good. It's on blackluxuryhairsolution.com. So if you have alopecia or any scalp issues or whatever, try it out. This like
I want to check it out because
Tension, hair loss, any of that.
My business.
Or if you want about some Christmas gifts, like some socks or something, go to gunnerdoyle.com.
Gunner, you got some hair solutions?
No, I got a brush though.
You got a brush for me for my scalp?
Oh my God, why are they interrupting me?
I have no clue. But so that was my thing. But the next thing is Kim Kardashian addresses Black fishing culture appreciation claims. I've learned and grown over the years and figured out good ways to communicate this with my children all about this.
That's me.
I don't think that she should be communicating with her children about colorism because she's an appropriation, because literally who she is colorism and appropriation.
Then you're going to go as far as to say that, oh, well, I don't think that, sometimes me and Stormy, North, or whoever the fuck her kid is, sometimes North wants to have matching hairstyles with me. But I tell North, I don't think it'll be appropriate, or I don't think it would be cute, like, if you had that hairstyle, if I did too. But, bitch, you literally always fucking have braids. You literally always have braids. So what other matching hairstyle did she get, that she want, that you...
But
maybe she need a bust down. Maybe
she ain't see nobody with dreads. That's what
maybe her daughter wants a bust down.
Like a set apart?
Yeah, a bust down.
No, it's
very set apart though.
She's very much a daddy's
girl. She want a bob. She want to be just like her mother. Like
but her mother wants to be like a Black woman.
It's not giving Bob. No shade. It's not giving Bob.
Oh, it's not giving Bob.
Her mother like. So I think
true.
Y'all know
she want to be like her mother. Her mother want to be like her. God.
So y'all know my thing is multiple things can be true at the same time. Like I can appreciate the matriarch that the Kardashian Jenner clan is. I think it's dope for women to own the selling of their sex and their body in a way that doesn't need the permission of men. Right? Mm-hmm. Because a lot of the backlash I think they get is because they're women. If there was a man behind their brand pushing them, it would be a totally different story. So I do respect them in that right. I do think they are very attractive women, whether it's, all original or not, right? We are a community that loves people who change themselves all the time and create the version that they think of themselves is the better version. So I'm here for supporting that. At the same time, I do think a lot of the things that they do are it's not that they do things that are problematic, because of their adjacency to people of color and being in the industry and stuff like that. I expect them to do cultural things, right? Black culture is dope. We have to get beyond thinking people are not going to want to adapt Black culture. We are the creators of culture. People are going to want to create their culture. So my issue isn't that people, take, not necessarily taking the word like take, but like they receive from our culture and like appropriate it. My issue is when conversations are starting to be had and you don't give credit where credit is due. You know what I'm saying? Like they're the Kardashians. They listen to media every day. They
They
had
all
to know
do
when
it.
those braids came out, they were getting credit for braids. The right thing would have been to do is say, "Hey, no, thank you."
What he say? They even jocking cornrows.
You know what I'm saying? Like the appropriate thing to me for them, it would have been it's so easy for them to do the appropriate thing to me, which is like be like, no, we didn't do that. Our good girlfriends, we got some black girls that did that. We appreciate it. It's dope. It's a dope hairstyle. We like it. Boom. Right? Because we have the same thing that happens in ballroom. Right? Often, especially now with us being international, and you have people like, oh, I learned Vogue from this and that. It's like, no, baby, poor black disease, HIV, crack, poor, homeless, ridden black LGBT queens created this. You didn't learn this in Paris. This didn't derive from there. This derived from here. Give us our credit for the art that we created, because oftentimes, especially for black people, our art comes out of pain and struggle. And so
Mhm.
it's a double insult when it's like what we created out of nothing, we don't get credit for it after we got demonized for it. So you demonize us until you want it, and then once you want it, you take credit for it. So it's like that double insult. So like that's my issues with the Kardashians. But shout out. I mean, I have a white mother, so I do believe that black kids can be wholly black and raised to love their blackness and not be anti-black in households that aren't necessarily fully black, right? But that's my own bias approach because that's my own lived experience. Um, but I do know that it's work. It takes work to do that. There were things that like I don't brush my hair to make waves and stuff like that because it was never a habit that my white mother formed for me. To her, she had to do my sister's hair, even though she was a black girl, but she had to do her because she knew she was a girl. So even as a white mother, she knew she had to do her daughter's hair. But as a white mother, she didn't know to tell me, my brother, okay, you need to brush your hair to get rid of the cowlicks and to train the hair and stuff like that. So that's something that me and my brother just never did. So we're adults now. We don't do it because it's not a habit that we formed, right? So we kind of missed out on that part of black culture. So there is work to be done when you're being raised in a household that's intermixed like that. But yeah.
Gunner, would you like a low cut Caesar with some deep waves?
Oh no, like as an adult, I've done everything. Gillette will tell you over the years, you'll see
Yeah,
Gunner. I've been bald, I've had braids, I've had cornrows, I've had low cut Caesars, I've had everything now. But no, I love my locks.
You're doing a great job. I love the underwear line as well.
Thank you. The underwear actually arrived tomorrow. They'll be getting shipped out. I have something special. I also have a full length bomber, a
Yes.
full
My
length bubble coat
brother
that's
gonna be
arriving
thinking about getting
tomorrow.
us some Christmas
No
gifts.
shit. I need the link to that shirt because Raw is definitely law.
Yeah, I'm actually got my new embroidery machine. I'm about to turn this into an embroidery, so it's gonna be
Okay.
the
I
same
can't
Embroidery
thing.
wait.
face.
I'm
I
gonna
Yeah.
do
saw
a
the
raw as
machine.
Yeah.
law hat. I'm gonna do raw as
Uh
law
huh.
shirt.
Uh huh.
Yeah.
Can I get a Raw is Law booty short? No shade. Raw is Law in the rear.
Hit, hit, hit me up. Hit me up. I do customs and one of a kinds and all that. Definitely hit me up and I
right.
got you.
I'll send you some
Um,
sketches.
how y'all feel about Lil Bow Wow?
Hater.
The do rag.
Lil Bow Wow, the rapper.
Hater.
Yeah.
I love the do
You mean the
rags.
male version of Lil Mama?
Yeah. The
Okay,
evil little
I love
mama.
the do
well,
rags.
Lil
I
Bow
love
Wow
what he has
tweeted
done
and
into the
said,
culture.
Lil Bow Wow tweeted and said, absolutely, BET should honor me next year at the Hip Hop Awards. I don't want to wait till I'm 44 years old. Plus, I've been the youngest artist in history that should get this award.
I feel like regardless of how we feel about Little Bow Wow now, he is someone who, when he first started, what he was doing and his movement amongst that youth at that era was big. It was phenomenal. Again, we got to understand that, especially within music and art, and like going from that 90s, 2000s to where we are now, a lot has changed technology wise. So the way that we look at artists today is a lot different than we did then. Back then, you had to wait for Vibe or Essence. You had to wait for the radio. You had to wait for
We
MTV
waited
or
for
BET.
magazines to tell us.
You had to wait for those things. And during that era, he dominated on that
He
in that
did.
in that lane. In this new era, he didn't dominate. He didn't dominate in the digital world. The digital era was more Soldier Boy. Soldier Boy brought us into the digital era.
Mother. Yes.
Prior
That's
to
Mother.
that,
why
it
they had a
was, it
Soldier
was,
Boy
I
versus.
remember it was Sammy, it was Little Bow Wow. Like those were the little boys that all the girls loved. I do think he has a place in hip hop history. I think a lot of times we wait. I think a lot of times we do the same thing in ballroom.
They
We
wait
wait
too late
too
to give them their
long to
flowers.
honor people, and then by the time we want to
Yeah,
honor them, so much
they're
time
both
has
icons.
passed where they're maybe irrelevant that now it's like, why are we honoring them? Well, because you waited until it was no longer their time.
Yeah.
We don't honor people in the height of when they're doing what they're doing, which is changing the game. And he definitely changed the game at the height of
He
what he was
did.
doing.
He did. He did. He did.
I do agree with that. Your last statement
I
about
miss those
how we
times
don't honor
when
people
we
in
saw
time.
the Vibe magazine come out. Like, Bow Wow and
No
Soulja Boy
shade.
are icons. Like, we really were the kids that really looked at magazines and saw promotion when promotion was really promotion, when you knew the album was
No
coming
shade.
out and the
Like
album
kids stood outside in lines of
internet.
Walmart to buy his album release when it dropped at
No
Walmart.
shade.
Like there were
No
lines.
shade.
Yeah,
But there,
yeah, those were real
I
times.
agree with him getting an award. Give it to him now before it's too late.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a
give
BET
it to him
award.
now before we don't care again.
It's a
I
BET
think
award.
that's the thing. Because no shade, Bow
And
Wow
no
as
shade,
a
no
person is
shade.
disgusting.
He's fucking Mr. 106 in Park. Why would you not acknowledge that man?
Mm-hmm.
Which goes,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, come on, people. I mean, you're still not going to tell us about why you took AJ and Free off. So give Bow Wow the fucking flowers he
I hate
deserves.
a lot of
don't
stuff.
you just hate it when a bitch make it so hard to like them because
Because
they just
I
so
never
late?
had no
Like, look at Bow Wow is late.
show
No
me
shade.
Wow.
He
Why
really
is he
did this
late?
shit, and I'm gagging right now because I
But
But you
remember
don't,
the
but you
vibe.
don't,
I remember
That's
the
but
the
you
reason
don't
why
see
vibe.
people
how
think
a lot
Bow
of
Wow is
people,
late.
the same way you feel about Bow Wow making it hard for him to like him, you don't
I'm
see how a lot of
here.
people feel the same way about your girlfriend, bitch. Oh, okay.
Why is this about her all the time? I'm not even a diehard Barb like that. I be reading the fuck out of her when she sounds stupid. No
I
shade.
mean,
But like, why do we just keep going back to that? This is Little Beezy.
we're not
We're not
piggybacking
talking
off of
about the
that.
queen.
Are we still talking about Bow Wow?
I mean, they're trying to hit me over here now with
I am
that.
not
So
hitting
I'm
anybody.
just,
Don't hit
I was
Morgan.
talking
We
about
left that
Bow
topic.
Wow.
We left that topic waiting in the water.
I was talking about Bow Wow. I was about to say,
We were
I
I
don't
think
moving
get
the reason
it.
why
forward.
people don't like him or feel like
Bow Wow's
he's having such
late.
a hard time or feel like he's late is because he's been trying to prove ever since like he's been young. Like, I am somebody in this industry, and he's been in the little fucked up shit. So he's been trying and trying and trying to where he's made a mockery of himself somewhat. But
It's see, this is the thing. This is why I always address topics around systems, because it's always multiple things have to be accountable at the same time. He's accountable for doing stupid stuff, like when he did that pictures, like he was in a private jet and stuff, and he was really sitting right there on the plane. Like he did little stuff like that, but at the same time, the systems, the industry and stuff really shits on child youth stars and doesn't allow them to grow up, doesn't give them a lane and a space for that, and kind of discourages and throws them away. And so they find themselves scrambling as adults in an industry that now only wants to see them as little Bow Wow. You know what I'm saying? So he's trying to remain relevant in an industry that doesn't even want to give him a lane. And a lot of our childhood, especially Black childhood celebrities, do. Now, a lot of white childhood celebrities go on to get movie bookings, and they end up on all these, these big $100 million budgets and shit like that. But a lot of Black stars, if you don't go along the lines of whitewashing like a Raven Simone, you end up just getting thrown away at the end of the day. And so, it's like, yeah, it's him, but at the same time, we as a Black community don't do right by our people.
Yes.
We don't support them, and then we don't allow them to grow. We pigeonhole them, and then it's a lot that goes into that.
And then it's a lot of judging as well, because we look at these as certain people as that celebrity, but it's like just because they're a celebrity doesn't mean that they're human, and they go through the same mistakes and trials and tribulations that we all go through. It's just the timing is a little different.
No shade. I'm gonna be fair as fuck. I will literally give it up to Bow Wow at least till 2011. After that,
it started.
But when did he drop his first single?
2001.
Can you Google that real quick?
2001 was his first album. So 2001.
2001.
His first single.
Yeah, that was the White.
So you dominated for a decade. So we give credit out to
I feel like a decade.
You have to
No
give it Miss Flowers. That was a decade.
No shade. After that, it was clipped on. No shade.
I mean,
yes, give him his stuff. Give it to him now
Get
before we don't care no more. No shade.
And then we gotta
Maybe
understand
he's right.
how it's like certain things are for the young and the youthful. Like you have to give them their credit. Then it's like we don't let basketball players play until they're 60 before we give them their, you know what I'm saying? Because we know that there's a prime. When it comes to rap and stuff like that, there's a prime.
He was out in these streets before the album even dropped, though.
When okay, I feel like y'all is dragging.
Well, get your award. I think you deserve it.
Yeah.
We love you. Happy holidays.
Yes.
Okay, so he was born in
And his
87.
daughter is doing
Yeah,
her
he might have
thing
been out
too
like
in the scene.
99,
Put some positive energy in
And
there.
we gotta also remember it gotta be hard, like being a celebrity and being that notable and making all that kind of money, and then like industry falling off. Like, let's say all of us, we made it big. We on television. This is an international show. Everyone knows who we are. Then we stop making that money, bitch. You've been put on such a pedestal. You can't just go get a regular job because bitch is gonna read you about that. Be like, oh girl, look at you. You done fell off. You working a regular job. Like hell,
Or they coming in your
Megan Thee
job,
Stallion,
or
Megan Thee
that's the
Stallion just got
bodega.
read by that other chick because she graduated. It was like, wait,
Oh,
what?
congratulations, Megan.
Wait, who read her?
You know what
Yes,
I'm
Megan
saying?
I
did
would never read her
graduate.
for that.
Yes.
Graduated from college.
I would
Already
never read her for
somebody
that. Why
read
would you
her
read that
about
for?
graduating, and it was like, but
A lot
like,
of
girl,
bitches don't
like,
graduate,
so
though.
you see what I'm saying? Like, we don't allow these people to even be regular or human or give them the space or capacity for that. So that in itself is a whole nother pressure. Little Bow Wow couldn't just go out and be like, okay, now I'm done with music. I want to go, whatever. You reaching. I'm here for the people. I'm here for the people. Y'all don't be letting people live their life.
It's that Red Bull that got you really wired.
No shade.
No, it's really my shirt is in there on the embroidery machine. And I want to get back to it.
I know. I could see it in your eyes. The way that the machine was moving, I was like, and I was so jealous. Like, but I love you so much.
Well,
Praise
Travis
Allah for your blessing.
Coachella, y'all.
So how's Paris, sis?
Oh, well, let me talk about Paris.
Yes, get to Paris. Tell us about Paris.
Yes, so Paris was fabulosity. Of course, I went over and did what I had to do and got another trophy. So this is my second international trophy. I am still the first legend that, walked over here and got a trophy for my category. But I also switched it up this time. I walked female figure runway this time. And
you said the first?
Huh?
You said the first.
Yes.
The first work.
Yes. So,
well, can we talk about that? You walking female figure runway? Because, girl, you know me, you already had this conversation. You are a female figure, so I don't understand when you... Girl. Anyway, keep going.
Okay, so yes, I tapped into a new category. I did female figure runway.
How was it new, girl? You are a lot of people.
A lot of people has hounded me for years, for decades. Like, Gillett, you should walk that. Gillett, you should walk that. But I did it for you, so there you go. Boom, I walked it. There you go. Sorry. The next thing, Paris cat fucking.
Okay.
Their ballroom scene is totally different. Their LSS is organized. It's just organized. Okay, bitch? It's just organized. So, like, when they have LSS, it's very, like, you can't storm the judges. If you storm the judges, bitch, you might not get to walk that night, honey. So, like, when the judges have their LSS, the judges have their own LSS. But the nights that really, like, carry is the aftermath. The aftermath, some bitches carry. Shout out to the House of Mugler. They was in the building. I saw everybody from New York there in their cheetah print. Shout out to Lolita. She came in with Vogue Down, giving Femme Queen. Oh, thank you, Dickie. Oh, bitch, you play too much.
Did she say original?
It's the Virgin Drags runway.
He plays too much. But no,
you know all that kudos for them being organized and shit. I don't care about that.
What you want to know?
I'm not about to give white people credit for coming in and taking something we did and and whitewashing and making it pretty.
Don't do that, girl. Our scene can spread out.
Yeah, but they picked it up after we did, so of course it's clean and chaos. They version 2.0.
Wow.
I'm not about to compare our ballroom to how ballroom is supposed to be. Real, raw, in your face, not organized, discombobulated, all of that is what make ballroom great, bitch.
But when you sit back and think about it, it kind of gives me back in the day, real ball, because bitch, it finishes. No one's fighting. Everyone is actually congratulating everyone. It's to the point, bitch, if you're a 007, they screaming, 00, bitch, get you a little chance to get your life. Like, it's very like don't do that.
They took it back to when I was a little girl and I watched.
No, they didn't take it back nowhere. They're taking it over.
Sweetie.
They're not taking it back. They're taking it over.
Over Shakova.
I love
you know what?
I love my Parisian. I love my
some people like a picnic. And some of us love a cookout. Bitch,
I
give
love
me
a
a
cookout.
cookout, bitch.
I love a cookout, and I love a basket of food with a lawn. Not calling it a picnic.
I don't want no picnic with purple lined
You cannot
casserole,
believe
bitch.
me right now.
I want a card table that barely is standing on 3 legs.
I
I
don't want
want
no
a chair
casserole.
that's
I want
broken.
some cornbread.
I
Well,
want a
anyway,
domino.
shout out to the
I
legendary
need me an old
icon
dirty
Oscar
potato salad.
Rowe, and shout out to Charlie Gaultier Brown for having a great event. The ball ended.
What word, Alan?
Now the next ball happened. Ball, everything it was great. Fab venue, fab time, fab drink, fab people. Shout out to Paris. I'll be back soon.
But niggas cost $400, $300.
Shout out to Paris. Can we bring up? Wasn't the icon Kevin Jay-Z supposed to be there? I saw something online.
So,
I saw some subs online from the Paris girls trying to sub the icon.
So Kevin Jay-Z Prodigy was supposed to have been in Paris commentating both balls, but unfortunately he wasn't there due to maybe missing of a flight or not doing your COVID test. But there are restrictions and things that you have to do before you can come into the UK. I mean, into Europe.
So let me say something. See, this is what I don't like when another community
takes. Wasn't given to the promoters until the day of. So they had to improvise the best way they could, and with them working the best way they can and organize, they still had the event.
Which I'm fine with that. But see, this is again, there are ways in which you still can show. You know how like in black communities, like the grandmama or the church mother or something, they can do something foul, but you know that within the decorum and how you address that, there's a certain way to address it, right? Addressing a known notable icon in ballroom by saying, "Oh, girl, you chose Philly over Paris." First of all, yes, I chose America, my people, our people, the origin over the imitation. Right? See, it's little stuff like that I don't like. You can call out his unprofessionalism. You can say, you know, it was. Hold on, let me finish. You can say it was unprofessional for him to not to show up. You can say, you know, he should have, you know, X, Y, Z. All of that would have been fine and credible to me. But when you have people from over there making statements like, "Oh, you chose Philly over Paris." Yes, bitch, and I will do it every fucking time.
What if one of the statements wasn't just made from one of the people from over there?
But I know it was. I know it was. I'm not, girl. You know, I'm a subby reading screenshot type of girl.
One of the statements was made from a person that lives here.
No, the statement was from.
No, the statement that you're talking about was on Facebook. I know that statement, but the statement that came verbally out of the person's mouth was from the U.S. And
but exactly. But the person from the U.S. can say that. Just like Gillett, you know, if me and you go for it, bitch, I will go in on you, you'll go in on me. Because we can do that. But ain't no bitch that we don't know about to go in on either of us in our presence, right? No, so a United States girl can go in on Kevin. Not no French girl. Not no French girl who's doing a rundown version 2.0 of what we created.
They probably felt like it was a slap in the face.
Like, I don't give a fuck what they felt like. But what you would not do, see, because you got to understand how loaded that statement was. Not only did you say something about him, which is one thing, you also put Paris on a pedestal above Philly, an original city for ballroom, where y'all got your stuff from. We created this shit over here in poor black cities. You don't get to think that your city is somehow better. Oh, you chose Philly over Paris. Yes, bitch, we did choose our country over your watered down imitation whitewashed version of what we do with your baby categories and your gender nonconforming realness. Yes, we chose the originator. We sure did. Now, was he unprofessional? Sure. But it's those kind of statements. This is what happens when ballroom gets taken over and gentrified. It's shit like that. It starts out as accountability and then it turns into our version's better. Y'all can't do it like us and all that other kind of shit. And I'm not for that.
Wow. Wow, the girls just wanted to have fun, and they really wanted to enjoy.
No, but you're not gonna have fun on the. See, again, I'm an icon. I represent all of ballroom. You're not gonna put down Philly for Paris. Okay, you're not gonna talk about an icon over here, bitch. Y'all wouldn't exist without us, bitch. I don't care how fucked up it is. You call out his credibility and on his professionalism, and you leave it there. They could have made a. If you wanted to make a sub, you could have actually made a post and said it was very unprofessional for the icon Kevin Jordan Zion to not show up for the ball. We're quite disappointed, but there will be reprimand. But the show must go on. I wouldn't have had nothing to say. But this whole you chose Philly over Paris, bitch, fuck Paris. The land of our imperialists, the land of our colonialism, the land of racism. Fuck them and fuck that land. That's why the gunner hasn't been there. Because those
I
girls
was just
over
about
there
to
want
say,
to try it.
I take it that you will never be there.
Hold on. Now it sounds like robots. I'll be right back.
Gun.
All right, so we have our other co-host here,
Sounds like a
Demi.
no.
Hi, babe.
What's
What
the
up,
tea?
Demi?
What's the tea? I'm
What
sorry I'm
up?
late.
It's fine.
I'm so
God
sorry
bless
I'm
you.
late. Hey everybody, what's going on?
Apparently, Gunna doesn't
You look good.
like the French.
Hate French
Thank you,
fries
baby.
and French toast.
Gunna's not seeing it for the French. I
I'm
love.
not. See, that be the thing. Gillett, since you know me, I really want everyone to do a big one. I want everyone to enjoy ballroom. I think we are the most concentrated, great culture creating community ever to exist on the planet Earth. Especially for us to be such an underground thing and be so global now without doing any funding, anything like that. I think we are so completely dope, and that deserves to be shared with the world. But at the same time, we have to be smart and watch what Black bodies create and watch what happens when people that weren't part of that creation get access. They always act like they want a seat at the table. They show up first as a paper plate. Then the next thing they want to be a piece of china. Then the next thing they want to be a seat at the table. Then the next thing you know, they want to be the table. Then the next thing they want to be the building that houses the table. Right? Then it starts with
And the
little shit. It starts with little shit like, oh, you chose Philly over Paris, to, oh, we don't need the United States girls. We got our own history now. That's where it evolves to.
I
Right?
disagree.
Here we go, Demi.
I only because we touched this topic before, Gunner, and it has been a topic in the Ballroom Clips page, and I just don't feel that way. I feel like I'm so open to ballroom touching different areas of life, and I do
just said
feel
I
like
am too.
I do feel like that they pay a lot of homage to where ballroom was created. I do feel like I don't maybe it's just me, I don't get the impression that it's a takeover type of thing, or
It's
anything like
not.
that from those other countries. I do not get. I get that from in the US, us on television in different aspects of ballroom. That's where I get it from. I don't get it
You
from
get what? You get that we
Russia,
taking over in
or
the US. We taking
I
over.
don't get it. It doesn't come across like
Again,
that for me.
pay attention close to what I said. I said this is how it starts, right? The same way we walk into rooms and we'll be like, oh, these white people are nice to me. And then first the microaggressions start, the real subtle microaggressions. And you're like, no, they didn't mean that. Miss Susie didn't mean that. Rebecca didn't mean, oh, that wasn't nothing. Until the day you sit in a room and she tell you, she really dismisses you. And you're like, whoa, how did we get here? Because the inch became the mile. The mile became, you know what I'm saying? It starts with statements like, you chose Philly over Paris. Regardless of who that was to, I don't care if it was to him or not. The fact that it came from someone who's not a part, like you can't, no. A statement like that just does not fly for me, mama.
It's a statement though, Gunner. I just feel like it's just
It's from an
like, and no
outsider.
shade.
It's like a
And let's
white
be
person.
for
It's
real.
like
By
a
the
white
looks
person.
of the
It's like a
Philadelphia
white
ball,
person
like if
saying,
we really
imagine
talking,
a white person telling. Imagine a white person
it's not
telling a
the
black
same
artist.
thing.
Imagine a white person telling a black artist, "Oh, you chose BET over the Grammys." Yes, bitch. Or you chose the Essence Festival over the
It's not
Grammys.
the same thing, Gunner.
It is exactly the same thing.
It's not the same thing. You're reaching. It's
No, I'm not
definitely not the
reaching.
same
It's
thing.
exactly the same
You
thing.
seen the Philadelphia ball? No shade. You seen the Philadelphia ball? You were there. I seen you on the live. I
I
seen
was
you there.
there. I was there in
Seen it.
America where
You
we do
seen
what
it.
we
It
do.
definitely gave. You chose Philly over Paris. It gave that. It gave.
Yeah,
Oh
but
wow.
no, from an outsider, regardless. See, this is the thing. This is the difference between This is the difference between how I see ballroom and how a lot of adjacent, a lot of Kiki, a lot of Young, a lot of all that see ballroom. They see it as something we can hand out freely because they're not seeing it the same way that I see jazz. I saw rap. I saw rock and roll. I see hip hop. I see Black Renaissance. They're not seeing it in that way. What I'm saying, people always show up in the beginning and they're playing nice until they get enough of it. Then once they got enough of that pie, it starts off again. Like I said, it starts with little statements, little microaggressions, because that's what that is. It's a microaggression. Because what they're saying subtly is that Paris is better than Philly. How dare you choose Philly over Paris. And that was before even knowing the ball. Because when that statement was posted, the balls were just starting. The ball hadn't even been done in Paris. They were just starting the ball when that statement was made. So you didn't know if your ball was going to be better or not. But because you're in Paris, and you think Paris is this land that Americans have to travel to, and it's beautiful, and it's this, and it's that, and it's not America, you already assume that it belongs on some pedestal. You will still be a watered-down version always, mama. You will always be Vanilla Ice to my MC Hammer. Always. So
Did
no.
you guys talk
again,
about the Philadelphia ball yet?
Yes, we did. But again, like I said, I'm open to accountability. I said I have no problem with them holding him accountable for not showing up because that was unprofessional. My issue was the microaggression in that statement to decree that Paris is better than Philly. Bitch, I don't care if we have a ball in North Dakota. North Dakota is better than London. North Dakota is better than Paris. It's better than Moscow. It's better than fucking Sri Lanka because it's here where we are, where we created this. You will always be second fiddle to my first place.
All right. The
Next
icon.
topic.
Can I just say one thing since y'all already talked about Philly?
Come on, let's go.
Shout out to Marquise and Bria on a successful function and all money given out and all trophies received. And the people were definitely in the building. I just wanted to talk about the perfect tens category. And to really I seen a post yesterday and today actually in two different perspectives of that category. And I wanted to ask Gunner because he was there, front row view, right there watching. Do you feel that the post said that Erica Kane was given that win. Do you feel like she was given the win or do you feel like she deserved it?
I said I was gonna talk about it.
Well, let's talk about it.
Well, I'm biased. Ayanna Tishi, New York Mother should have won.
You say you think who should have won?
Ayanna Tishi, New York Mother.
Well, I'm sure you was gonna say that, but I don't think anybody else agrees with that statement. But
you don't have to.
But
you can meet her at the back.
Phenomenal. I think she
I
looked
agree.
phenomenal, but
back,
it was not her night. The storm was fab, but it was not her night.
You can meet her at the back.
Huh?
You can meet her at the back since you don't.
I don't walk that category. I don't step above my means. I don't walk that category at all. But she looks phenomenal. I don't think that it was her night though. I don't. She looked great. The storm, the walk-in for her tents was fab. It was fab. It was like, bitch, excuse me. How are we doing this category without me? That's what I got from it. Very much, bitch. Open it up, and it was fab, but.
Okay, what was the question again, Demi girl?
The question was, do you feel that Erica was given the win, or do you feel that
I don't think that she was given a win. I think everyone is given a win when they win, right? The judges decided to give it to you, they voted for you. So technically, yes, anybody who wins is given it. I will say this. I do think it did look a little bit like money and big wins were not gonna leave Philly. The girls who are known from Philly. That's who pretty much won any big cash prize that they had there. So I do think it was a little bit more in their favor, but at the same time, I think a lot of those, I think a lot of people say that about every city. Every city claims that their city is biased and stuff like that, I think the cards fell where they lay. I think, again, to me, I don't think that all the girls are perfect 10s. I think all the girls look pretty good. They look great, aside from not necessarily all being perfect 10s, let's put that aside. Just judging them, she's not my favorite. I'll say that, but that doesn't mean that she was given it or deserved to win or anything like that. She's not my favorite, but she wasn't,
Okay,
but there was a lot of that money is not going to leave Philly. That money.
Okay, so last battle, Miss Vanessa Frost and Erica Kane. How do you feel about that?
I feel like congratulations, Erica Kane.
Okay.
See, that's the difference. When you asked before, I'm looking at it from the whole category from everybody getting their 10s. If you do it per battle, I can give you a different answer. Because I feel like there are a lot of times where, like, let's say someone who I think should win gets eliminated first. Okay, well, now they're eliminated. So now we just got to base it on what's left.
Exactly.
So based on who the final two were, congratulations, Erica Kane.
Okay, that's all I wanted to know. I don't have an opinion.
I mean, like, I think that some of the girls had different things here and there. Like, I was up, as you said, up close and personal. I think some girls' dresses weren't made with the most expensive textiles. You could see Velcro, you could see tearaways, you could see threads hanging. Some girls didn't necessarily have the best skin. You could see bumps underneath the makeup. You know, some people don't necessarily have the most face structure. You know, there's teeth issues and chin issues and stuff like that. Some people don't necessarily have the best body. Some people are cellulite. Some people, you can still see the marks where the injections were made. So it's like everybody, like each little girl, I think, and I'm not, and I want to just say this universally. So I'm not going to say like my girl did it and my girl's better than everyone. I'm going to say universally, I think everyone had something that could be picked apart. But that's usually in any category for ballroom. Like, again, going back to what I said about perfect tens, it is really like to be the, think about what it takes to be a perfect 10. You know what I'm saying? Think about what it would be like to have to go through school and never ever get anything less than a 100. Right? It's a very difficult thing to do. So it's going to be, every little thing is going to be nitpicked apart. So it's like, that's why I said to me, all the girls look lovely, because if you were where I was sitting, because I was like standing up by the girls, like right there, not on the panel, but like literally by them, I could probably find something where if a judge picked that out, I'd be like, yep. And, you know, that includes my own girl. Like, there was something on everybody that someone could have pointed out that one thing. And if you want to say it's not perfect 10s, then I would be like, okay, it is what it is. So that's why I was like, you know, yeah.
Well, out of the people that that didn't walk, who do you see in the scene as a perfect tens diva? You hear me?
Who did you ask? I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm asking Gunna. I'm sorry.
I thought you asked Demi.
No, I'm asking you.
Oh, perfect tens. It's not. I really honest. I mean, I'm gonna say I'm gonna leave my own house out of it, right? Whether I see it or not or whatever. I don't really see a lot of perfect tens. Again, I think perfect tens is really like
It's a
this
very hard
many,
category.
and then trilogy is like, let's say perfect 10 is like 2 people. Trilogy is like 8 people, right? Like, I really don't think it's a category that everyone can walk. It's really, really hard. I think one of my favorites, she was to me when she had more, her body was more, she was younger and it was smaller and more together and stuff like that. But one of my favorites of all time, Shannon Balenciaga. She was realness.
Boo.
She had body. She was face. She gave you regal when she came to a venue. She had labels. She had gowns. Like, she gave you, oh, bitch, this is a grown woman in ballroom. But yeah, it's not too many where I'd be like, oh, bitch, I love the mug, and I love the body, and I love the realness, and I love the sex.
Mine is overall Mother Basquiat.
And you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, perfect 10s, I don't see a lot, honestly.
I agree, Gunna. It's a very hard category because
now,
a lot of
trilogy,
girls
we can
have
open
a
it up. I can
strong.
name 20, 10, 15, 20 people who I think are enough to be trilogy. Like, even all the girls that walked the other night, I think all of them are trilogy in some form, shape, or fashion. Hands down. All of them have enough of any category that was called to where on the right night, with the right lighting, with the right Butch Queen team, with the right this, they could slay a category. There's definitely more trilogies in ballroom on both the male and female side than there are perfect 10s.
Right. So my last question before we wrap this up, Gunna, would y'all be open to if I brought like some the Parisian girls up and we have a discussion about this hostile takeover from the European girls versus the
Don't do that. You can bring them up, but don't do it as a hostile takeover again.
No. You're assuming that it's probably a hostile takeover that they're trying to do.
No, what I'm not assuming that they're trying to do a hostile takeover. What I am saying is, ballroom, Black people, look at your history. Be leery of when we give ourselves to outsiders, even those who appear to be friendly. Because historically, it does not work out in our favor. There is not a art that we have created, that we have shared, that we still own as Black people on this entire planet besides ballroom. Ballroom, if you really think about it, is literally one of the last art forms that Black bodies still control majority of. We don't control rap and hip hop. We don't control jazz and blues. Like, we don't even control R&B no more. Bitch, I saw posts saying that Adele was more qualified than Beyonce, than Jasmine Sullivan, than all of it's like we don't own any of our art. That's all I'm saying. I'm not saying that their intentions are wrong. I'm saying that historically, people come into Black community, they love the art, they borrow from it, and next thing they own it. Look at the pier. It used to be a Black trashy area that nobody wanted to be in. It was dirty. All the white girls came down and was hanging out with the Butch Queens and the Femme Queens in the pier in the 90s. They was all progressive. Then they started buying up all the cheap property. And now those same white people got kids and they want us to be quiet when we're down there now. Right? Their intent when they was 19 and 20 and hanging out with us wasn't to kick us out, but here they are now in their 30s and 40s, kicking us out of the very area that we invited them into, that we made fab to go to, because the pier was not fab until we made it fab. That's what I'm saying.
Can I ask a question?
Go ahead. Go ahead. Can you hear us?
What happened to me?
She broke
Beyonce
it.
is definitely Black.
She fucking broke it.
I might have to leave out and come back in. I know you see I've left out a lot tonight. I don't know, maybe it's the software tonight.
Yeah, it might be. Hold on.
But that's all I'm saying. I'm not necessarily saying that they're intent, but like when I see stuff like, you remember what 2 summers ago said when there was like a white Russian mother of a house, and she tried to expel a black boy from ballroom because he spoke out about gender nonconforming not being a real version of realness, and she said his words made her GNC white girlfriends uncomfortable at balls. I said, that's part of the problem. We created a safe space. You don't get to come into our safe space and carve out a safe space from you and then kick us out of the very space we created.
But why does it always have to be? I'm sorry.
Hold on.
This is just my. Oh.
Go ahead.
My question would be, why does it? And I'm not saying that it's always about color, but just in the example that he just gave, it seems a little racially stirred. No shade. I'm just saying. I'm just saying that it just seems a little racially stirred, and I'm all here for that. But I do have a question that I know because I'm late and maybe we don't have enough time to talk about it, but it pertains to a project that I'm working on. My question is, when it pertains to ballroom, oh hey Morgan, I didn't even know that was you, Sissy. What's the tea?
Girl,
I didn't even know that was you. My question that it pertains to
I'm sorry, I stepped out. Before you go to your question, can you go back and repeat a little bit what you said about race and stuff? Because I wanted to.
No, all I said was I just feel like Gunner, I agree with you and to a certain extent. And you know that, and I love you down, and I respect you so much.
But it is about race. Black, gay, LGBT people had to create a space because they were not invited and welcomed.
Okay, but we created that space, Gunner. Why do we have to? This is the problem for me. This is the problem. You're right. We have created a place as minorities and another minority. All right, Black LGBTQT plus all of us, all of our asses came together and created this space. And yes, it was created by Blacks. Cool,
for Blacks, not by Blacks, but for Blacks.
Why does everything still have to be racial about the race for me? I feel like we have come to a place, especially in ballroom, that it's not just us anymore. It's not. It's just not. I don't think that everything has to be. We don't have to keep going back to that narrative. I just do not agree with that at all whatsoever.
We have went back to the narrative with hip hop. Where is jazz at now? Where is blues at? Where is rock and roll? Where's all these things? See, this is the thing that Black people do, and this was part of our conditioning since our enslavement, right? We will fondle and coddle to the very oppressor that caused us to need a safe space. We created this space for us to feel safe. Now we've allowed you at the space because that's what Black bodies do. We will always open up our houses to people and feed anybody. But the problem is, once we start to feed you, and then you start to make suggestions to my recipe, and then you start to say, well, you need to clean your bathroom next time I come over, and you need to, bitch, you are a guest from the jump. You got way
But
too
I don't agree.
comfortable.
But it's not always that situation, Gunner.
How is
It's
it not?
not.
Where has it not been that in
It's not
history?
always that
Show me in
situation
history where it has
when you're
not been
pertaining
that.
to ballroom. It's not always given that.
Show me in
Sometimes it's
history.
just. Go ahead.
Show me in history where that has not been the
I'm not
outcome
talking about in
of Black
history. I'm
art.
talking about in ballroom.
Ballroom is, you can't look at the world that myopic, love. You can't look at it as this is something singular that we just
I'm
created.
not
This
looking
is
at
an
it as
extension
if
of
it's singular. I am acknowledging everything that you're saying, but I do not feel. I don't agree when it pertains to our overseas people participating in ballroom. I do not agree with it being a racially a race thing, because most of these people are oppressed themselves in their prospective countries. They're not allowed to
that's
do the
fine.
things that we are do, just like we as minorities, as Blacks, we're not allowed to do a lot of things. So they have found a space where they are able to be comfortable and be freely and truly themselves, whoever that may be. And I just do not think that it is
Yes,
okay to keep visiting race as a issue when it pertains to
because
letting them in this
ballroom,
culture.
the reason
I
why
don't
race is
agree with
also
that.
important is because, again, with where we're going as a culture, what will happen is we don't necessarily have to make it race. They don't necessarily have to make it race. But now that we are mainstream, the companies are going to do the hiring and the firing, the contracts they're going to negotiate, the people who are going to get paid the big bucks, and who ultimately in history will go down as people who made it this big thing will be white. There's a reason why it's people all over this globe that still think that Madonna, a white woman, created Vogue, because that's how it was presented to them by the industry and by people who had power to put it out there in that way. When I look at our girls getting Coach commercials by Coach, and it's given, hey girl, take a picture with your camera phone and send it in to us. But then I look at Asian and Russian girls getting added to Nike commercials and Reebok commercials, and it's given full out paid production. I see the issue. I see the reoccurrence of the takeover. It doesn't necessarily have to be by those bodies who have found themselves in ballroom. Again, my home is open to anyone who needs a place to sleep. My king size bedroom is not. That's where the creator and the owner of this house sleeps. Girl, you can sleep in the living room, in the kitchen, on the floor. The moment you try to think you can come into my bedroom and tell me how I need to run my house, then I have a problem. And when you're going
Okay,
to say
okay,
something
Gunner,
like,
this is my last. This is my
when
last
you say a
thing.
microaggression,
I
like
promise this is gonna be the last thing I say.
when
But I
somebody
just
says that
want to say this.
you chose Philly over Paris with a condescending tone, number one, again, it's all kind of xenophobic, right? That's reverse xenophobia. You're saying you're already standing from a place, I'm from Paris, we're better than America. Then you're saying our ballroom scene technically is better. There's so much leveled microaggression in that statement. That's how we started down this path. Again, it wasn't because they wanted to call out Kevin. That was fine. It was those microaggressions. And maybe because I've lived long enough to recognize microaggressions when they start, and I know how they fester and they become something bigger. That's why that kind of shit has to be nipped in the bud from very early on, because it starts out with, ooh, well, we couldn't hire them, they're not presentable. Or, ooh, well, they show up late to their balls, so that's why we do it this way over here. Ooh, they, ooh, they, ooh, they, ooh, they. And you start policing the very community we had to create. You're coming into our space, critiquing our space, and we had to create it because you critiqued us and wouldn't allow us into your spaces.
Can I ask a question? Gunner? I know, but I just want to just get this in. So how do you feel about people saying, "Oh, you chose L.A. Oh, you chose Philly instead of L.A.?" Or when that ball happened, that was in Atlanta, and the ball was in LA, and everybody went to LA, Pussy West, and all the girls went out there dressed like the Rainbow Bitch, and they was up there voguing. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cuss. I don't know if I can cuss. I'm so sorry. I apologize. They was up there cussing. They was up there voguing and stuff in LA, and you had the Atlanta ball the same day, and the girls gave the same thing. Oh, so y'all went to Atlanta
The way
instead of
I
LA, or
feel
you went to Chicago instead of Florida? It's the same thing. I feel like you're being very picky, and it's not fair. Hold on, no, Gunner, I just want to say this. I feel like you're being very picky, and it's not fair. No shade. That ball in Paris, Gunner, being fair. That ball in Gunner was a high talked about thing. It was one of the hottest balls on the 11th, and everyone knew about that ball. The rest of these balls were just as hot in their own right, but that ball was the height Like everybody expected that ball to
Yeah,
be
well,
the
of course it was
ball of
right because
that
there's a
day.
lot of
You
Black
understand what I'm saying?
Americans.
So for me, I just feel like you're nitpicking, and I
Oh,
just feel like you're going a little bit deep on the situation because it seems a little sensitive. I don't know.
it's
I
very
don't agree
sensitive.
with nothing that you're saying. I agree with what you're saying, but I don't agree with what you're saying towards this particular post, this particular statement. Kevin was supposed to be there. He was not there. He deserves to be called out, and anyone else who was supposed to show up
Deserves to
booked
be
for
held
event.
accountable.
I
Absolutely.
just don't. I don't agree.
Okay, so now to me to answer your question about how do I feel if an LA girl says you chose LA or you chose Atlanta over that, I feel like those are my cousins telling me I didn't choose the right cousin side. It's not somebody outside of my family telling me, oh, you chose your family over us. Number one.
Do you have a chapter of teaching?
No.
Yes, we do have an international chapter.
In Paris?
We surely do.
In Paris?
We surely do.
So that's your cousin as well.
We surely do. And
So Paris is your
trust and
cousin as
believe.
well.
But here's
You
the
have a
thing: trust
chapter
and
there. That's
believe.
your cousin.
Trust and believe. Gunner is consistent about how he feels about ballroom through and through. My international members know exactly how I feel about race as it relates to ballroom, as it relates to the
What makes you
subculture
think that they don't think the same way? They're very about Black culture over
But
there.
again,
They
y'all are
have
missing
white
the
leaders
point.
who tried to
Y'all are
they have,
missing the whole
they
point.
have
Y'all
white
are
I'm not
leaders
missing
that
it. I get the
was
point. I just don't think the point pertains to this particular subject. I do get the point. I just don't think
it
it
was a
pertains to this
microaggression. It
particular
does
subject. But we
pertain.
are, you know me and you. I love this. I
No,
love this
and here's the thing.
relationship because you
Again,
teach
I have
me something
international members.
every time you talk, but I just don't agree.
I started out by saying I think ballroom is a culture and community for the people. It belongs to. I mean, that's how I think culture is in general. That's why I think Black people, while we create so much of it from an artistic like internal space, is to create culture for the world. Like that was why Black people. One of the reasons why I think Black bodies were put here because we create culture. It's what we do, and we share that with the world. I have no problem with that. What I am saying is, in a long line of Black creation, this is exactly how the gentrification starts. It doesn't start with hostile takeovers. It has rarely ever started with a hostile takeover, right? It starts with people who don't look like us or people who are adjacent to us, who are outsiders, who we're like, okay, they cool, they can come in, you know, they cool, they can do their thing here, that's fine. And then it starts with the microaggression. It starts with, oh, well, maybe, you would do better in industry if you changed your hair, or, maybe if you rapped like this. Like you got white executives telling Black rappers how to rap in the 80s and 90s and what content they should do. So you see now the lyricism that we talked about earlier, right, is not what it was then because white producers started telling Black people how to create Black art. This is what happens with Black creativity. And I'm just saying that we need to be mindful of when people say things like, oh, you chose Philly over Paris and the condescension that feels for American
But
bodies.
that
Number one,
condescension comes with ballroom, and every time there is a ball on another date with another ball, we get that same thing.
But
I think you are. That's the
don't
part
get to
that's
show up
blowing
and
me,
cuss
Gunner,
me out,
because
Demi.
it is the
Everyone's
same
not my girlfriend
thing
and
to
my
me.
family.
Why is it not the same thing?
It's not because they're not the same. They're not the core. They're not Americans. They're not Black people and Black bodies
So
in America
because
that
they
create a
are not
ballroom.
Black, okay. So because they're not Black, they are not allowed to throw the same type of shade that we throw towards
No,
another
they are
function.
not allowed to shade our cities and our country and where ballroom started.
I disagree.
Again,
I think that's foolish. I think that's very foolish.
They could have thrown shade directly at Kevin. I said that before you came on the show, so you missed some of it.
But I agree with
directly at him.
I agree with the statement. Oh, you chose Philly over Philadelphia, so maybe I'm a little bit biased.
Throw it at Philly,
maybe I agree with that statement,
bullshit.
so maybe I'm a little biased. No shade, I agree with that. I
a
totally
lot of
agree
Black
with
people agree
you
that
chose
white is
Philly
right.
over Paris. In a
lot of
I
Black
agree.
people think, oh, I got the second international trophy. I'm the Dundada. I've arrived. I don't
they
give
are.
a fuck.
No shade. You just travel to Paris and clear the line. You're
that
fab.
don't mean nothing to me. Clear the line at home.
Y'all have.
That's fine.
I don't. That's the thing about me. I'm not. You see, there's a lot of people that want to cross over, right? We do this a lot in Black art. Oh, what made all these Black artists great is because they crossed over to white audiences. The premise that I operate on is I don't need to cross over to nothing. I need to make sure.
So you mean to tell me, Gunner? So I'm sorry, and I don't want you to feel like I'm just playing devil's advocate because I'm not.
No, go
really
ahead.
asking the questions. I want to get to know you on a personal level when it comes to these types of conversations. Yeah. So my question to you, as a person in ballroom that you are of a high stature, you're gonna sit here and tell me that a person that has been dominating their category and goes overseas and dominates in their category, that does not mean anything to you? or an international winner doesn't mean anything to you in ballroom, because that is really crazy that we're out here giving people LSSs and making sure that we put in the beginning of their LSS that this is an international winner. I think that is very crazy, and I think that it's crazy because we have idolized Laomi, we have idolized Deshawn because they are international walkers, winners, and pioneers of the craft. I think that's
you got accepted into a white audience. You got accepted in another country. It's more fab for you. This is what we do. You got to move to a white neighborhood. You got accepted to a white school.
It's not about them being white. It's about it being international.
This is no different. It's no different than MTV. When we were not allowed to be on MTV, it was a thing when you got to be on MTV. It's always a thing when we can make it in their space. That was not our space. I'm not saying that walking over there, I'm not saying they're ball, I'm not saying it's shit. I'm not saying that. What I'm saying is I do not hold it to a higher pedestal than doing shit right here at home. And I never will. Ever.
I don't think that it's necessary. Well, I do. I'm not gonna lie. It's a higher pedestal. It's the next level up. Once you have stayed over here in the U.S., you have slayed all these bitches in different regions and different areas. You have done everything that you possibly could do. You have gotten the other years. You have battled the hottest bitches. It is the next step up to cross over that big ass ocean and go over here and slap a couple of European and French and Russian bitches in their mouth.
For that very reason. And for that very reason, Demi, it's exactly why ballroom will eventually not belong to us, and it will belong to other people, because we always give more credit when you can cross over somewhere else besides at home. We don't like the chitlin circuit. We'll make fun of a person who does chitlin circuit, but as soon as they make it on the pop chart, all of a sudden there's something.
I disagree, Gunnar. I love you so much, but I just so disagree, because I have heard you talk about people being international. But you to say that the next step in ballroom is to walk overseas? That lets me know where this mind fuck is at. Like, the next step for us is not to appease the outsider. That is not the next step for us. It's not about appeasing the outsiders, Gunnar. It's about appeasing yourself within your craft. If I have battled each one of you and y'all are the best of the best in each one of your states, right? I have battled each one of you. I have beaten you. I have won. I have done everything I want to do, and I love this craft. It has nothing to do with race. It has nothing to do with any of that. It has something to do with me loving the craft that I love, and I want to battle the next step. Not to say that these people are superior or better, but I have already battled these bitches over here. Now let me go slap some of these bitches, because I want to prove to myself and to the U.S. that I am that girl. No shade. I don't think there's anything wrong with thinking that going over, I'm not saying battling them or winning over there, it automatically makes you fabber. It does. No, I'm lying, because I agree with that. It does. It really does.
And this is why we can agree to
when Laomi went overseas, all them girls was like, damn, Laomi just went overseas and really, you know what I'm saying? So I just think that it's crazy to
Adele just made an R&B album. Every black girl that can sing. I live for Adele. She's from London.
It's weird.
Adele is from London, bitch. She made an R&B album. It's over for her. She's more over than any R&B girl that ever came before her. The fact that she did R&B over there makes her sickening, girl. I love it. No, I don't. I mean, we can agree to disagree. I will never think that winning for them or over there or outside of home means more. For me, anything that I do, it always has the best meaning when I do it for my people, with my people, where my people were at. It'll never be better for me to live in a white neighborhood, I worked at plenty CEO. I've been CEO of plenty, I mean, not CEO, I've been a director, VP, and all that, of plenty of Fortune 100. But that don't mean shit to me. And that's just me.
I just think that it's really crazy, and especially because
I think it's really crazy that winning over there to you is next level.
Countries, they are.
I think it's really crazy that someone who has almost two.
Very ridiculous, and it is crazy.
Gillett has a decade and a half under her belt. It is not better for her to go over and beat somebody in a thing that's barely a decade old.
But I agree with what you're saying. I just do not agree with the. Let me get some more wine.
Let me do my more Red Bull. I will never, ever. And again, I'm not diminishing. It's not about I'm not diminishing what my sister did. You won. It's great. To me, it's no different than if she would have won in Philly. I'm not holding it to some esteem, because again, this is a woman who has 15 years under her belt. Going and winning in a scene that's barely 10 years old is not a win for her. It doesn't make her next level. She is already Gillett, the threat, the legend. Winning over there does nothing. If I go and win a ball in front of a bunch of CEO executives that don't know shit about my community and my culture, or if I go win it over there and they're still learning, that don't mean the same as if I walk in front of, Stuart and RR and Andre and Ashley and the girls who pioneered. I will never give more credit to some bitches that had to learn us off of YouTube and through Classroom over girls who were here who created what the fuck we're doing. I just never will. Doesn't mean I don't appreciate them. Like I said, I have a whole chapter over there, but they know exactly how I feel about protecting Black art. I've had this conversation with them and about the kind of members that we want to bring in. And again, to Gillette's point, I want to be clear in saying, I'm not saying that everyone over there is a culture vulture. I'm not saying that they're trying to steal ballroom. What I am saying is that this is how it starts. The intentions are always good. I'm not saying this is just how it starts with micro. It starts with a Black girl getting into the industry and someone saying, "Oh, I love your voice. Maybe if you just change your hair a little bit." Next thing you know, every Black female is doing long blonde bust downs because of some microaggression that told a girl she was more marketable to the white audience if she did this. There's a reason why Mariah Carey would do her first version and it was giving flowers in a field. But when she did her R&B mix, it was the niggas. Right? Because they felt like to this demographic needed to do this. But to me, the true authenticity of ballroom is the remix.
Well, what about when it comes to me? Because Black, they just texted. When it comes to me and when I walk there, I don't look at it as a self-gratification or something like that. I look at it as a privilege of you having me to be there. So when I walk and win, it's the privilege that I graced you with my presence. I won and I left. My brother just said it in the chat because they watching. But yeah, I don't look at it as like, blah, blah, blah. No, I look at this bitch. You have.
I know you don't. I know you don't, sis. And when I said what I said about that, what I was saying was that to me, what Gillette has done from North Carolina to today in New York will always mean more to me than your 2 international wins. I'm not saying that the 2 national wins don't matter, that you weren't being recognized. Go over there and do your motherfucking big one. But I will never look at that like that's more important than your latexes and what you did. You know what I'm saying? That will never be more important or even more significant to me. It's not a moment. And what I'm starting to see, and not saying you, but I've seen this with other people in ballroom, it's now the thing that they use against other girls. Well, girl, are you an international girl? No, I'm not, bitch. I'm a winner here. You don't get to throw that in my face as if that's something to aspire to. It's great to have, but it doesn't make you better than me as an American ballroom walker because you went overseas and walked for somebody else because you went and did your 1-2 big one for massa. Don't make you better than me when I did what I did over here.
Can I ask a question?
Sure.
Okay, let me first start off by saying I definitely agree with the statement being your moments and stuff over here will not be greater than the moments that you made over there. I agree with that that statement partially. My question. Ooh, hold on. The devil. See, somebody praying against me. Oh my God. Hold on a second. There's a lot going on. This is so ghetto. Okay, hold on. Okay, I'm sorry. So my question would be, for example, Gillette, me and you both have a lot of the years. We have battled numerous of times. And maybe you could say I'm playing devil's advocate, and I am. We have battled numerous of times. You're legend, I'm legend. You've won 5 times as a legend, I've won 5 times as a legend. Your effects are always seamlessly and effortless put together, and so are mine. And then I don't have, we just keep going back and forth, and then the next thing I say to you is, well, bitch, I'm international. I have went to Paris and I have won. Along with the rest of your resume and your rundown, you don't think that is the next step for you when you have done everything else?
No, I think
I'm asking Gillette.
Oh, okay, sorry.
I wouldn't look at it as steps. I would look at it as an accomplishment. Like I went and did something. I traveled across the seas, and then I gave you something. It's not like I'm going there to try to take anything from them. I'm
no, absolutely. But I'm saying, as you said, it is the next accomplishment, correct?
I mean, it's something to like, no shade to go back to what you said. And it is something if you're having an argument with someone to throw in their face. Yeah, bitch, no shade.
Okay, that's the only point I wanted to make.
See,
Period. That's
I'm
it.
very particular about language. I don't like it's the next accomplishment. Like
Well,
it's
no,
like how can something
it's
that
just
When
like
just
you
we're
have
having a
happened
done
be
all
debate.
that
We're
needs
having
to
a
be done
debate.
in your area, that is the next accomplishment. Not saying that it is needed. I never said that it was needed because it's not needed.
It's
And I
not.
totally agree with you saying that it's not needed. But to say that it is not the next step accomplishment, girl, it is. A flight to Paris is not an accomplishment, but a win in Paris definitely is. No shade.
I
I
mean
don't
a
care
win
that you
anywhere
went.
in
Did you
ballroom
go over
because
there? Did you go over there and carry the way you carried in the
a
U.S.?
win anywhere because we're in ballroom is a win, right? So yes, on your resume as a win, a number win is
I
a
agree,
win.
Terrence.
But it's not, to me, it's not heralded to a higher ranking. Like it doesn't, it's and see that's the thing. It's like when we're calling out like, oh, she did this, oh, she did this, oh, she did this, and she went to Paris. It's not no and. The Paris to me is like, girl, she went to Paris, she did it, and she won latex, and she beat this person, and that's the inflection. Paris is not an inflection for me. Selling, giving ourselves to mainstream is not power to is not anything to me. It doesn't mean anything. I don't flock to celebrities when they come from over to out of other mainstream arts to here. I just see ballroom United States, ballroom here, ballroom with black people as the heart and mecca of our art.
You
And
you
for me,
have to
I will
stop
fight
saying
to the
ballroom
death
with
to
black
protect
people,
it.
Gunner. You have to stop saying that because it is very disrespectful to these nationalities who have these black
But
people
they're
in
coming to,
their chapters. And what I also the other thing that is really like kind of mind boggling is saying exactly how Terrence just said. If that is how we feel, correct, right? Why is it that we have chapters over here? If you feel like this, why do we have chapters over here? Why
because
are we including them
because
if
again you're
this is
missing
how
the
we
point.
feel? It makes no sense.
Because
It's
you're
the same
missing the
thing.
point.
Ballrooms was started in New York City. Then it moved on and it moved on and it moved on and moved on. Just like Terrence said, the Mecca, New York City. It was all about battling in New York City. Da, 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 da. I'm not saying battling in Paris makes you fab in no way, or makes you grander in a sense. I don't want you to take away that exactly what I'm saying. All I'm saying is it does look good on a fucking resume. It does. It looks phenomenal with the rest of your lineup, and to take it away for like making it seem like you being international is not important. It's not a heavyweight accomplishment. It's crazy to me. And then also too saying, with us having these chapters over here, what is the point? What is the purpose
Again,
of us having
I'm telling you the point.
these chapters?
I reiterated this point. Expansion of our art and culture is expansion of our art and culture. But like you missed
But
some of this.
expansion with a cap on it is okay
No,
because that's
no,
what you're
because
telling
we
me.
were okay.
That
So
we can
you
expand
missed
it, but
it.
we have to put a cap on
You
what
missed
you're
this a
doing.
little bit
We have to
earlier,
put a
right?
cap on how you
You
feel.
missed
We
it.
have to
You
put a
missed
cap
this
on
earlier when you
how
didn't
far
come
you
in.
can go.
We were talking.
That's a bit
No, you
ridiculous.
missed this earlier when you weren't here. When we were talking about this. The Kardashians having braids does not bother me. The Kardashians allowing themselves to be put on a pedestal as like the epitome of beauty while having braids when black women have not been given that same pedestal while they have braids is an issue for me. Us putting
Whose
Paris
fault is
on a
that though?
oh, now you want to move the bar. That's not what we're talking about.
No,
We're
I'm
putting
saying
Paris on a
whose fault is it?
pedestal.
No, but what I'm saying is whose fault is that?
I'm saying it's
If
our
we
fault.
as a community allow them to have that type of thought
Okay.
and back to ballroom, okay, cool, but that's not the thought. I don't think that that's the thought. I don't think that is what you're
Okay.
saying
Well, they
and
didn't
what
think
is
it was a thought
conveying
when
are
Paris
two
is
different
burning, but
things.
I can
I feel
guarantee
like you
you.
are saying it's okay to
How long have you been
expand.
around
It's
ballroom?
okay to move across these areas, but I'm not going to allow you to get any further than what we have gotten.
How long have you been in ballroom?
That's a bit crazy to say.
How long have you been in ballroom? Who are your historians? Because the way that you feel like, oh, we should open it up, we should do this. Again, this isn't a new occurrence. Go back to Paris is Burning. Go back to Vogue's Madonna. We were like, hey, let's open it up. And then next thing you know, the entire world thinks Madonna invented Vogue, and she says nothing to correct that. She starts these little, and she comes in and tiptoes in and out when she needs to be hot again, right? This is a reoccurring thing that I'm talking about. I didn't come up with this theory out of the blue. I'm looking at the history of Black collectives, of Black art and its creation, and the way that we always share it and we let people into our spaces because we are nice, because we are docile, because we don't feel like putting a cap on it, because we want to share it. And then the next thing you know, we no longer have control over it. That's what I am saying. So I never said we shouldn't share it. What I'm saying is we have to be mindful of microaggressions, like you chose Philly over Paris. Yes, I chose an established 30-year rich history of ballroom over a girl who just showed up out of a baby crib yesterday. I sure the fuck did.
Okay. Where the panel played all night. And you just said out of your mouth that you did feel that
But
as
again, we
though
can have
that
that critique.
Philadelphia was
We can have
definitely
that
giving
critique.
no big
See,
money and leaving out of
what you're doing to
Philadelphia,
me
but
sounds a
that's
lot
what
like
we chose.
what you're doing
Work.
to me sounds a lot
Work
like
for
when I
that.
hear Black people be anti-Black and then talk about how white schools don't have violence and how this and that. It's like, yes, we can critique our own community and what we need to critique without implying that someone who's outside does something better.
I'm still missing that imply from the statement that you keep referring to. But I love you, Gunner. We can agree to disagree.
You missing the
I do want to
microaggression.
leave you guys with a question for the next time we meet on next Wednesday because I want to hear your. I wish I was here on time so we can talk about it. But my question to you for my project is ballroom corrupt? I don't want you to answer it now.
The phone.
Corruption.
I don't want you to answer it now. I just want you to think about it and have an answer for me next week. I love y'all.
So that's gonna wrap us up. This is a great debate tonight. I'm sorry, Sasha and Morgan, y'all was just on chill.
I'm sorry.
I was just standing in the corner. I did not want to get punched. I really didn't.
I'm sorry, let's be clear again. You know, we always clarify at the end. I love Diddy. I love the women.
Of course.
I love the place that I'm coming from, and I just don't want to be misconstrued. I'm not trying to be racist. I'm not being xenophobic. I'm not saying we shouldn't share our culture. I'm not saying that at all. I'm a little boy from Nashville who stumbled across ballroom culture when I got to Morehouse College because my mother, London, was a butch queen at the time, pumping through campus, found me and turned me into her son, right? So even I stumbled upon this community as someone who didn't come from New York, New Jersey, all of that. And I was brought into this community and this culture. And as someone who was brought in, who now feels like I have a seat at the table, I still recognize that my story in some ways places me as an outsider than the originators of ballroom culture. And because they have given me a seat at that table and I have a voice and I have a platform, I'm going to make sure that other people don't continue to take from them. And there are a lot of people in ballroom that feel like outside influences have taken from them. And they have a right to feel that way when they have lived through Black art being taken from Black bodies. Not necessarily saying that, let me be specific. Black local art being taken over by other outside artists. You see what I'm saying? So it's not just, yes, there are Black people in Paris, but again, there are Black people everywhere else. But again, when I can turn on my Facebook and see that a white Russian mother is trying to kick a Black boy out of ballroom because he had an opinion, red flags go off on my brain. Girl, who are you? I don't care if I gave you a mother position to deny a Black person into a space. Girl, you better find a Black person to represent you and tell him he can't come in. But you as an invited guest. And that's my thing with even this country, with outside countries. They are still invited guests into our culture. They are invited. Here, make sure I want you to hear what I'm saying. I am saying they are invited. We are inviting them in. I want you to come into my house, enjoy yourself, kick off your shoes and relax your feet, party on down to the American ballroom beat. Just kick it. But at the moment you start to think you're the producer and you're the writer and you're the creator and you can have microaggressions at the very people who created what you are now in, I have an issue.
All right.
Well, I am the thing of the things and nothing in between. I'm definitely the girl in the motherfucking picture. Make sure y'all follow me on all social media platforms.
Now that's the key. Again, this is what happens when people can't listen
on all
to
social media platforms. And Gillett, I just want to say I thank you so much for allowing me to be one of your panelists, recurring panelists. I really appreciate the opportunity. And it's always good seeing you, Sasha, Morgan, and of course, my motherfucking love bug, my motherfucker good Judy. We're gonna go back and forth. You know the vibe. I love y'all. No shade. Thank you for having me. No shade.
Yes. So next topic will be, is ballroom corrupted, next Wednesday. Once again,
We might actually agree on that topic next week.
shout out to everyone who
Hopefully.
shout out to everyone who accomplished December the 11th, National Ballroom, International Ballroom Day. There was balls everywhere. Shout out to my panelists, my cast. We did it. We did it. We was gone for a little bit, but we came back and still made it close to 2 hours. This is great. This is a
I
great.
do want to read something though, sis. But you can keep going. Hold on, I'll pull it up.
Also, if you're if you're a person that live in a trans experience and you're needing some counseling or you need some kind of help, you can reach out to Trans Life. It's a new trans hotline number. They're able to help you with any services that you may need. They'll try to find the location within your area and try to get you some help or mental health, counseling, housing, whatever you need. So if you need a number, please take it down. Gunnar, you want to go ahead and read your thing before we wrap it up?
I'm trying to get there, but anyway, I'll. It's not private; it's public. Basically, what I wanted to say is after the 11th, I did make a post, and I said I wanted to congratulate all of Ballroom. We literally had 4 major balls happening on the globe that people were scrambling to try to watch and be a part of, whether it was in Chicago, whether it was in Philly, whether it was in LA, or whether it was in Paris. And what I want to say about that is, Ballroom, you are fucking dope. You are the most concentrated collective of individuals to create on the planet. There is no space that is more creative, that does it with the limited amount of resources that we do. We are seen. We matter. We are fucking here. Let Earth, we are the shit. Let ghetto Earth smell us. And that's all.
Oh my. Sasha, any last words? Morgan, any last words?
My last words, I would like to say, have a humble holiday. Be safe. I love all the positive feedback. Hopefully we can see each other next week so we can keep this thing rolling and going and going and going like the magic school bus.
Morgan, Morgan?
I'm Morgan. You know, some people refer to me as mother. You know, I'm kind of high, so I'm just happy to be here. Thank you so much for having me. Always, it's a pleasure to be with you guys. You know, your favorite fucking square. Follow me on everything.
Cut it out.
Get your Gunner Doyle. We're out,
Is that
ladies.
Uncle Max?
See y'all.